That's impossible, right? Just finding a dragon clan spirit beast is very difficult. I know someone whose spirit hides the bloodline of the golden sacred dragon, but he is unable to activate it. Song Yi smiled casually. When he said this, the image of that sleazy middle-aged man with a crew cut already appeared in his mind. Du Guyan asked suspiciously, Brother Yi, who is it? Yu Xiaobing, Song Yi said calmly. Afterwards, Du Guyan proceeded to bring Du Gubo over. Du Gubo saw through the fact that Du Guyan was no longer a virgin at a glance, and in the end, he could only let out a long sigh. Du Gubo instructed Song Yi, You brat, I know you aren't a man who is devoted to only one. In the future, you cannot bully Du Guyan. Otherwise, even if I can't kill you, I can still kill all your other women. Song Yi nodded and said casually, Old thing, rest assured. I naturally won't neglect those who are good to me. The urgent matter at hand is to obtain the dragon blood within Yu Xiaobing's spirit. Du Guyan insisted that I include you as well, so that your spirit can evolve too. Fine, then the two of you can each have half the dragon blood, and I will refine the medicinal pill here. As long as we find Yu Xiaobing within the day, extract his dragon blood, and then combine it with my medicinal pill, you will be able to evolve your spirits immediately. Good. Hearing this, Du Gubo was also extremely excited. As expected, winning over this Song Yi was not a loss. Du Guyan had become Song Yi's woman. Even if there were other women in the future, his granddaughter's status would not be low. Not to mention that he himself could evolve his spirit, and his granddaughter would even undergo a second evolution. By then, with the dragon blood, his spirit would transform into a dragon, reaching a true top-tier beast spirit. Perhaps he might even have the possibility of reaching level 96 or 97. Thinking of this, Du Gubo didn't say another word and prepared to act. Du Guyan, you stay here and continue to assist Song Yi. He has already told me the several points where Yu Xiaobing might appear, and I will be able to find Yu Xiaobing very soon. Grandpa, be careful, Du Guyan instructed. Du Gubo sneered, do I still need to be careful when dealing with a level 29 piece of trash? Song Yi, Du Guyan, just wait. In an instant, Du Gubo disappeared from where he stood. Relying on his speed as a titled Duluo and his connections, finding a person shouldn't be difficult. As for Song Yi and Du Guyan who remained, they continued to look at each other. Du Guyan kept her head lowered shyly, not knowing what to say. In the end, it was Song Yi who went to refine the medicinal pill first. The spiritual plants needed were all present in the ice and fire yin-yang well, so there was no difficulty. For Song Yi, who now possessed all kinds of knowledge and theories, alchemy was equally simple. In less than 2 hours, the medicinal pill to assist in the fusion of the dragon blood was already finished. Song Yi placed the medicinal pill into a jade bottle, waiting for Du Gubo to return. And Du Guyan waited by his side the whole time. Seeing Song Yi finish his work, she hurried over, seemingly having some desire, and muttered. Brother Yi, you worked hard refining the medicinal pill, you should relax properly. Song Yi didn't say much, just sat down to rest. But he didn't expect that as soon as he sat down, Du Guyan would start taking action. Song Yi was immediately shocked. Du Guyan, what are you doing? Brother Yi, I want to eat a lollipop. Du Guyan said, blushing. Ah, tilde. On the other side, Du Gubo started by heading to the original location of Shrek Academy, only to find that apart from a few tombstones, nothing was left. Then he went to Lanba Academy in Heaven-Do City, but he didn't find Yu Xiaobing either. Instead, he found Yu Xiaobing on the road from Soto City to Heaven-Do City. It seemed that Yu Xiaobing was preparing to head to Heaven-Do City. At this moment, Yu Xiaobing was sitting inside a carriage. After a few days of simple recovery, he was at least able to move. Yu Xiaobing looked at the scenery outside the carriage, but his mood was extremely unpleasant. Is there no place in this world that can accommodate me? Poor me, Yu Xiaobing, burdened with world-shocking talent and overflowing brilliance, yet I am constantly envied by villains. Now, hey! I can't even be a man anymore. Speaking of this, Yu Xiaobing subconsciously looked between his legs, where it felt empty. Even when a gust of wind blew by, he always felt a bit cold down there. Thinking of this, Yu Xiaobing clenched his fists and said. Damn Tang San and his father. Damn Bibi Dong. Especially that bitch Bibi Dong, she actually dared to let her subordinates harm me like this. If I had known back when I was with Bibi Dong, I should have taken her, making her completely devoted to me. It wouldn't have come to this today, sigh. Chapter 73, Torturing Yu Xiaobing again. Du Gubo extracts dragon blood. Yu Xiaobing recalled the past, when Bibi Dong was in the prime of her youth, and he was with her. Yet, he had never taken that step, he never possessed Bibi Dong's body. Now, Bibi Dong still retained her charm. Because she was a spirit master, she didn't age at all, and even possessed a special allure unique to a mature woman. There was also Lu Erlong from back then, who was just as beautiful, yet he hadn't done anything with her either. If only I had taken the bodies of those two women back then, they would have surely submitted to me completely. Damn it, why did I have to act like a gentleman back then? Now, I don't even have the chance. The Bibi Dong of the past, and the Bibi Dong of the present, both are so tempting, ah tilde. Unconsciously, perhaps because he had lost that thing, Yu Xiaobing found himself thinking about such matters uncontrollably every day. At this thought, an unbearable, stabbing pain shot through his lower body. Ah! Damn it, it hurts so much. Now, I can't even think about it. As long as there's the slightest reaction, the pain becomes unbearable. Damn Bibi Dong, you bitch. I must destroy Spirit Hall. From today on, I will spare no cost to destroy Spirit Hall in the Clear Sky sect. From now on, I will make you, Spirit Hall in the Clear Sky sect, know the power of this Grandmaster. Speaking of this, Yu Xiaobing was filled with righteous indignation. His anger, completely enraged and vented, was uncontrollable. Furthermore, Yu Xiaobing consoled himself. No matter what, things can't get any worse. At least I still have the bloodline of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon, and I still have Erlong as my backing. If I work hard, maybe I can even cultivate a disciple stronger than N.A.N, and then I can rely on my disciple to wipe out Spirit Hall and the Clear Sky sect. That's right, at the very least, things can't get any worse for me. I still have. What else do you have? Just as Yu Xiaobing was comforting himself, a magnetic voice suddenly came from outside. At the same time, the carriage came to a sudden halt, and the driver, who had been there, fell silent. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. Hearing this voice, Yu Xiaobing became immediately alert. Who is it? The next instant, he heard a loud bang. The carriage shattered instantly, revealing the unconscious driver lying on the ground, motionless, though he was not in any immediate danger. As Yu Xiaobing was gripped by terror, an ink-green figure appeared before him. The person who arrived was none other than Du Gubo. Yu Xiaobing stared at the old man before him, watched for a moment, and muttered. Drenched in ink green, fond of using poison. You are Poison Duluo, Du Gubo. That's right, you trash actually have some knowledge. This seat is Du Gubo. Du Gubo snorted. Yu Xiaobing swallowed hard, even more terrified. I wonder why Poison Duluo has come to find me. It seems I do not know Poison Duluo, do I? I have come to find you naturally to get some benefits, Du Gubo said. I heard that your spirit is called something like Luo Sanpao, and when fused with others, it can summon the spirit of the Golden Sacred Dragon. Is it definitely you? Hearing this, Yu Xiaobing was slightly stunned. It turned out he had come to find him because of a martial soul fusion skill. Could it be that this Du Gubo had some confusion regarding martial soul fusion skills and had come to ask him, this theoretical expert? After all, besides this reason, he couldn't think of any other. Otherwise, why would a titled Duluo he had never met before come to find him? In an instant, many thoughts raced through Yu Xiaobing's mind. If Du Gubo really needs my theory on martial soul fusion skills, then this person can be won over. Perhaps this will be the first titled Duluo combat power I have recruited. Thinking of this, Yu Xiaobing felt a bit more relaxed and said to himself. That's right, Senior, I am indeed capable of performing the 3-in-1 martial soul fusion skill to summon the Golden Sacred Dragon, and I am the person in the whole world who understands martial soul fusion skills the best. As long as it's you, this old man hasn't found the wrong person. Du Gubo smiled wickedly. With your help, this old man will be able to ascend. My help. Hearing these words, Yu Xiaobing confirmed it again. Well, Du Gubo really did want his help. Yu Xiaobing was overjoyed. Ha ha ha, great fortune follows a narrow escape. I, Yu Xiaobing, can indeed use my theoretical knowledge to win over all kinds of powerhouses. Even Poison Duluo has come to my door. Then I will first use my own theory to control Du Gubo, make him my thug, and then step by step destroy Spirit Hall and the Clear Sky sect. Yu Xiaobing quickly said, it seems that Senior Dugu wants my help. Fine, I can naturally help you, Senior. After all, in this world, I am the one who understands the theory of martial soul fusion skills the best. However, if you want my help, you must also do some things for me, Senior. Otherwise, even if you kill me, don't even think about getting any theoretical help. Speaking of this, Yu Xiaobing had a special kind of pride, or rather, blind confidence. As if everyone had to beg him, as if he were truly some king of theory. But unexpectedly, after he finished speaking, Du Gubo's expression froze. You trash, what kind of nonsense are you babbling about? What martial soul fusion skill, what theory? As a titled Duluo, is my theory not better than yours, you trash? I want your spirit. Spirit. Yu Xiaobing was stunned. You don't want me to help you solve the problem of your martial soul fusion skill. Otherwise, why ask about the Golden Sacred Dragon? Du Gubo scolded, what I want is your dragon blood. Summon your spirit for this seat. What? Yu Xiaobing was nervous and afraid, he was instantly dumbfounded. He had thought Du Gubo was here for help, damn it, he hadn't expected him to be here to harm him. Yu Xiaobing, filled with anger mixed with panic, scolded, are you also jealous of my talent? No way, Senior, you cannot kill me. Senior, I haven't provoked you, why would you harm me? I didn't say I was going to kill you, I told you to summon your spirit. Du Gubo was getting impatient and continued to scold, even summoning his Jade Phosphor Serpent Emperor to coerce him. Yu Xiaobing couldn't withstand the pressure and had no choice but to obey. Fine, I'll summon my spirit. Come out, Luo Sanpao. The next instant, a simple-minded and silly-looking pig spirit appeared. Seeing this thing, Du Gubo finally revealed a smile. Ha ha ha, a perfectly good golden sacred dragon bloodline, ruined by you like this. Alright, I won't let your dragon blood go to waste today. Saying this, Du Gubo quickly unleashed his spirit power, forcibly extracting all the blood from within Luo Sanpao. Although Luo Sanpao was a spirit, it was very special and could leave the body, appearing like a separate life. Naturally, the blood extraction went very smoothly. In less than a few seconds, Luo Sanpao had been drained dry and shattered directly. Yu Xiaobing instantly felt unbearable pain within his body. With his foundation gone, he immediately wailed. Ah! My spirit! Du Gubo, what are you doing? My spirit is gone. My spirit is gone. Chapter 74, Heavenly Poison God Dragon, Jade Phosphor Poison Dragon. Du Gubo laughs like a madman. Du Gubo watched Yu Xiaobing rolling on the ground and screaming, but he felt no pity at all. He had long understood this person, he was an out-and-out fraud and a waste of space, shouting about some spirit theory every day, but in reality it was completely useless. Du Gubo felt no psychological burden about draining his dragon blood. Trash, such a fine golden sacred dragon bloodline is a waste on you. It would be better to let it shine on me. Du Gubo said with disdain, if you're not convinced, go find someone to take revenge. Once I level up again, do you think I'll be afraid of your Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon clan? After saying this, Dugubo poured all the energy-filled blood into a jade bottle and then vanished from the spot. Afterward, only Yu Xiaoqing remained in place, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Without the support of his spirit, he looked another 10 years older, and even the hair on his head had turned somewhat gray. My spirit, my Luo Sanpao. How could this happen? Damn it, you're all targeting me. You all want to harm me. You are all jealous of my talent. I'm going to kill you all. Dugubo, you just wait. You all must die. I'm going to kill you all. I will destroy Spirit Hall. Destroy the Clear Sky sect. Destroy the Dugu family. Ah! The miserable screams echoed throughout the desolate wilderness. Only blood flowed at Yu Xiaoqing's feet, reflecting his misery and helplessness. Perhaps for Yu Xiaoqing, he could only shout a few slogans to vent his frustration. ... Returning to the ice and fire yin-yang well, Du Guyan and Song Yi had also finished. Du Guyan's face was flushed red, and she leaned into Song Yi's arms, murmuring. Brother Yi, you are truly amazing tilde. It was over an hour tilde. Song Yi smiled casually, perhaps my vitality is just particularly strong. It looks like your grandfather should be back soon, finding someone shouldn't be difficult. Little things, I'm back. As soon as the voice fell, Dugubo appeared right on cue, carrying the jade bottle. As soon as Dugubo saw his granddaughter lying in Song Yi's arms, he was instantly embarrassed. You too. Young people should show some restraint. Yan, get up quickly, your grandfather is still here. Du Guyan was incredibly shy. Grandfather, Brother Yi is too amazing, I can't stand up right now. Ah, this. Dugubo didn't know what else to say, so he just coughed twice and changed the subject. Kid, I have brought the dragon blood. How'd I use it? Song Yi looked at the jade bottle, opened it, and peered inside. It was indeed blood in an energy state. He said casually, naturally, you swallow it directly, and with my medicinal pill, both of you can absorb it. How about this, Yan, you rest for a while, later, you two will absorb the bloodline together. After resting for a while, Du Guyan and Dugubo both divided the blood into two halves and took it together with the medicinal pill. In an instant, terrifying energy began to surge, crazily filling their bodies. Song Yi shouted, Senior, Yan. This is a bloodline conflict. Hurry and use your spirit power to suppress it. As long as you mobilize the medicinal power to guide it, there will be no problem. Okay, Dugubo spoke first and attempted to suppress it. After that, it was simple, the two of them just needed to slowly absorb and fuse it. About 2 hours later, sure enough, a surging dragon chi suddenly erupted. Du Guyan and Dugubo had both finished absorbing it at the same time. After all, this was spirit absorption, and the amount of dragon blood was about the same. Dugubo stood up first and hurriedly summoned his spirit. Come out. Roar. In an instant, behind Dugubo appeared a creature that was entirely green but covered in numerous golden patterns, with dragon horns on its head and dragon claws beneath its body, looking like an azure dragon. This spirit beast had completely shed its former jade phosphor serpent emperor form and truly possessed dragon might. The green represented intense toxicity, this was a poison dragon, and the gold represented the dragon bloodline, which was incredibly noble. Dugubo was incredibly excited and laughed on the spot. Ha ha ha, good, very good. My spirit has evolved directly from the jade phosphor serpent emperor to a jade phosphor poison dragon. I truly possess the power of a dragon. And thanks to the sublimation of my spirit power has broken through the limit, reaching level 94, and even reaching the peak of level 94, just a hair's breadth away from entering level 95. Who would have thought that one day, I, Dugubo, could become a level 95 titled Duluo? Song Yi, this is all your credit. From now on, you are my only honored guest, whatever you ask me to do, I will do it. Seeing this, Song Yi couldn't help but be pleased. The effect is actually this good, and he can even reach level 95 soon. In this way, I finally have a decent titled Duluo combat force. Good, old poison, with you around in the future, I won't have to worry about safety issues. Need you even ask? Dugubo sneered. In a few days, when I have completely absorbed the bloodline and reached level 95, in this entire Duluo continent, those who can absolutely defeat me can be counted on 2 hands at most. While the two were talking, Du Guyan, who was on the side, instantly released her spirit as well. In an instant, another wave of dragon might erupted. Roar. Amidst the roar, a purple gold divine dragon appeared on the spot. This purple gold divine dragon had 2 colors that were almost equal. Gold covered a large area, and only the lower abdomen or some decorations were purple. The entire divine dragon appeared even more terrifying than the jade phosphor poison dragon. Dugubo hurriedly asked, Yan, you succeeded too. Du Guyan nodded, even more excited than ever, and she said excitedly, Grandfather, my spirit has evolved into a heavenly poison god dragon. How come your dragon has more gold than mine? Didn't we consume the same amount of dragon blood? Dugubo asked, puzzled. At this moment, Song Yi explained, it's very simple, because old poison, you are already 70 or 80 years old, and your own attributes are already set. Even if you absorb dragon blood, the bloodline modification is limited, although your current spirit has reached the top tier beast spirit. But you are too old, at most you will reach level 96, if you work hard, perhaps you might have a chance at level 97. But any higher than that is completely impossible. But Yan is much younger and has not yet set, so the bloodline modification was more thorough, and of course, it's stronger than yours. In my opinion, Yan's current aptitude means that becoming a god in the future will be no problem. What? Becoming a god? Dugubo and Du Guyan were both horrified, completely shocked beyond measure. Dugubo hurriedly asked, you brat, are you telling the truth? Yan has the aptitude to become a god. Song Yi smiled, need you even ask? In my opinion, it won't be difficult for Yan to achieve the status of poison god in the future. Of course, if there is no such god position in the god realm, then I will assist and directly create the poison god position. As long as I am here, why worry about the difficulty of becoming a god? After becoming a god, N.A.N can take you directly to the god realm to enjoy endless life forever, and you will never have to worry about being separated again. Chapter 75. Sharply criticizing Tang San's actions. Xiao Wu collapses again. Once these words were spoken, Du Guyan and Du Gubo were completely terrified, not even knowing what to say. Becoming a god was one thing, but to be able to bring Du Gubo to the god realm and enjoy eternal life forever. This was simply perfect. Du Gubo was dumbfounded, looking at Du Guyan, then at Song Yi. Only at this moment did he realize how correct his investment in Song Yi was, even to the point of pushing his granddaughter out to him. Even if his granddaughter could only become one of many divine concubines, it would still be a profit. Now Song Yi said that Du Guyan could become a god herself and even bring him into the god realm to enjoy eternal life. In this moment, Du Gubo's mindset underwent a complete transformation. He couldn't help but swallow hard, finally asking tentatively, "Kid, is everything you said true? Don't lie to this old man, I'm only asking you this one last time." Seeing Du Gubo so serious, Song Yi responded solemnly, "Rest assured, old poison, I have absolute certainty. At the very least, I can bring you both into the god realm." "Good, very good, good, ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha." Hearing the final, affirmative answer, Du Gubo was so overjoyed he was almost delirious. He gritted his teeth, knelt down abruptly, and prostrated himself before Song Yi. Du Gubo cupped his hands and said, "This old man, Du Gubo, is now your person, Song Yi." "What, this, old poison, what are you doing? I didn't say I wanted you to submit to me." Song Yi was startled and hurriedly stepped forward to help him up. But to his surprise, Du Gubo said solemnly, "Kid Song Yi, this old man is no fool. There is gain and loss. Not to mention becoming a god, just the fact that you allowed Du Guyan and me to be reborn is enough for me to pledge allegiance to you. In the future, I only ask that you treat Du Guyan well. Whoever you want to kill, I will help you kill. Whatever you want to do, I will help you do it. From now on, this old man is a subordinate of your Song family. I am your warrior, Song Yi." Song Yi hadn't expected Du Gubo to be such a man of passion, submitting without a second word. Sigh, it was his own fault for offering too many benefits, it was indeed easy to win people over. At the same time, the next second, Du Guyan also knelt down abruptly. Du Guyan pledges loyal allegiance from this day forward. "Brother Yi, from now on, I can only be yours." Watching her kneel as well, Song Yi sighed helplessly. "Fine, you feudal people like these kinds of rituals. Very well, from now on, you are with me. Du Guyan, old poison, get up. While it's not dark yet, try to get used to your new spirits. Old poison, strive to fuse the last bit of your bloodline as soon as possible and quickly reach rank 95. Good, Du Gubo stood up and responded respectfully. At this moment, Du Guyan also responded, "By the way, Brother Yi, after taking the immortal herb and having my spirit evolve, I've reached rank 50. I need to go hunt a spirit beast. I'm afraid I can't accompany you tonight." Rank 50, Song Yi frowned slightly. It was a pity. If she were at 4 rings or 3 rings, he could have let Du Guyan obtain a 10,000-year spirit ring in advance, which would have better potential. But being off by a little didn't matter. He nodded, essentially agreeing. Before letting the two leave, Song Yi still instructed, "Here's the thing, old poison, go buy some 10,000-year whale glue for Du Guyan to consume. Whale glue has a body refining effect, have her consume it until she can't anymore. Don't rush the spirit ring. This way, Du Guyan's 5th ring can directly absorb a tens of thousands year spirit ring, which has many benefits. Whale glue has this kind of effect." Du Gubo nodded and muttered, "Fine, I'll take Du Guyan to buy whale glue tonight. I'll come ask you if I have any further questions. Let's go, Du Guyan." "Brother Yi, we're leaving." Du Guyan was very reluctant to part. But in the end, the two left. After all, it was best not to delay the matter Song Yi had ordered. Song Yi remained in place, continuing to wait slowly for nightfall. There was still some time before night, so he decided to cultivate for a while. 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, inside the room of Xiao Wu and the others. After these few days of comfort, and the distraction from the sharp criticisms of Liana and Jian Runshui, Xiao Wu was much better. Especially after facing reality, Xiao Wu had decided to walk out of the shadows. The servants delivered dinner to the room, and the three of them ate together while chatting. Ning Rongrong picked up food for Xiao Wu. "Xiao Wu, eat more. Thanks to your good self-adjustment these past 2 days, otherwise something really would have happened." Xiao Wu ate the food in her bowl and said calmly, "I just don't want to remain immersed in sadness, I still want to avenge my mother. I can only keep working hard. Rongrong, starting tomorrow, let's resume our cultivation, I cannot remain this decadent anymore." "Good, we'll accompany you." Ning Rongrong nodded. Zhu Jing also smiled. "Me too." However, halfway through the meal, Xiao Wu still lowered her head unconsciously and said sadly, "But sometimes, I still think of little San. Sometimes, I still can't help it." "You still think of him?" Ning Rongrong frowned tightly. "This is difficult. Unless you find another person to directly replace Tang San and occupy the original position in your heart. But it must be said that although Tang San is prone to harming you, he is indeed quite outstanding. How many people are there who are more outstanding than him?" With these words, the three of them fell into deep thought. However, only Zhu Jing suddenly thought of something and said, "What about Song Yi? Although he is older than us, his talent is clearly very strong. Although his rank isn't high, perhaps it was delayed previously. Objectively speaking, his spirit ring, and theories all show that his talent is stronger than Tang San's. Perhaps his rank isn't high because he wasted all his time as a child studying theories. That's right, this guy Song Yi is indeed not bad." When Ning Rongrong said this, the image of this young man involuntarily appeared in her mind. Song Yi was quite good-looking, and combined with the credit for the immortal herb, Ning Rongrong unconsciously developed a favorable impression of him. However, there was only one Song Yi. Were they supposed to give him to Xiao Wu? Thinking of this, she found it hard to speak. Zuqing was the same. Mentioning Song Yi made her think of that immortal herb, and her favorable impression of Song Yi was not small either. Realizing this, she was also a bit hesitant. Should she compete with Xiao Wu for him? Xiao Wu naturally wasn't prepared to speak, only sighing helplessly. But in reality, without anyone else saying it, the image of Tang San in her mind had already been somewhat replaced by Song Yi. For a moment, the three women instantly went quiet. They looked at each other and could see that the others had favorable impressions of Song Yi, which was quite awkward. In the end, they could only finish their meal in silence and wait for nightfall. In the evening, N.A.N took the initiative to change the subject. The time is almost here, let's watch today's sharp criticism first. This finally brought Xiao Wu and Zuqing back to their senses, and the three of them simply waited. As the black of night deepened, indeed, a new round of sharp criticism finally began. All connected female characters came online simultaneously. What surprised N.A.N and the others was that they didn't expect this sharp criticism to be about Tang San, and there were even newcomers added. Please sharply criticize Tang San's actions in N.A.N. Chapter 76, Connecting Aru and N.A.N. Xiao Wu was about to break down on the spot. Sharp critiques of Tang San's actions in N.A.N were something many had anticipated. But what was unexpected was that this time, despite it not being a round number for the critiques, new members actually joined the connection. The light screen displayed. Due to Tang San's special status as a character, new characters have been additionally invited to connect and provide sharp critiques. Welcome the 3 new characters. Please, new characters, speak up. New characters, and 3 of them. As soon as this message appeared, it left everyone connected to the light screen completely baffled. Are there actually newcomers? Du Guyan, it's fortunate I said I was going to rest today, otherwise I wouldn't have made it in time for the sharp critiques. Are there really newcomers joining? Bing Bing is polite, good heavens, is Tang San really that special? For his sake, there are additional newcomers joining. Interesting, I wonder if it's another big shot from somewhere. Hot girl newcomers, speak up, weren't you asked to speak? Tang Yuehuok, speak what? What is this thing? ... Within the Moon Pavilion, the noble training base of the Heaven Do Empire. Tang Yuehua looked at the light screen in her hand with great astonishment, completely unable to understand. What on earth is this thing? Why did it suddenly appear? And this, it says it wants to provide sharp critiques of Tang San. Who is Tang San? And who are these people, to be able to communicate with me? As Tang San's aunt, Tang Yuehua possessed no combat ability, yet she was born with a domain that provided certain supportive effects. She was employed as an etiquette instructor for the Heaven Do imperial family and the descendants of various nobles. However, at this moment, she did not yet know Tang San, nor did she know that Tang San was Tang Hao's child. Furthermore, as a newcomer, she couldn't understand what this light screen was, nor what the sharp critiques meant. In a cave near Saint Spirit Village. N.A.N was still in a weakened state. Lacking a human form at this moment, she was, in the end, nothing more than an ordinary blue-silver grass retaining a sliver of consciousness. It was just that compared to other blue-silver grass, she had more potential and could eventually cultivate back to her former state. N.A.N looked at the light screen before her. It seemed she could communicate with many people through her consciousness, which finally brought her some surprise. For 6 years, ever since she sacrificed herself to Tang Hao, she had hardly seen the sun. N.A.N felt incomparable pain in her heart. How Ji, why did you transplant me to such a sunless place? Didn't I tell you before that most plant-type spirit beasts prefer sunlight? I am the same. But after I sacrificed myself for you, you placed me here, and have never even visited me. How Ji, are you still there? Where are you? What is this light screen, and what are these sharp critiques of Tang San, little San? Her heart was incredibly complex and confused, but she still tentatively obeyed, sending a message to the light screen. Blue Silver Eternal, what is this? Who are you? How Ji, where are you? Is this something you created? Unfortunately, there was no How Ji among the people connected to this light screen. Inside a special space. Aru, whose soul had been forcibly revived by the system, remained in this special, void space. Aru was currently still in the soul state, completely devoid of any thoughts, only seeming to perceive that she hadn't died. She spoke in a chaotic manner. Where is this? Shouldn't I be dead? How am I in a place like this? Could this be the legendary hell? But it doesn't seem like it. Xiao Wu. Duming, Erming, where are you? Did you create this place to store my soul? It's so dark here, where are you? Aru assumed that the Sky Azure Bull Python and the others had created some treasure for her to store her soul. After all, besides them, Aru couldn't think of anyone who would store her soul. Now, wasn't she in a soul state? At the same time, Aru also saw the light screen in front of her, feeling very astonished. This light screen says it wants to provide sharp critiques of Tang San. Who is Tang San? I don't know him. Does my soul revival have anything to do with him? And it wants me to speak. Aru tried to communicate with the light screen, asking questions just like N.A.N did, and took the opportunity to give herself an ID. Soft bone body, what is this place? I should have died, but why has my soul revived? Soft bone body, Xiao Wu. Duming, Erming, did you create this space, or was it created by that human spirit master who absorbed my spirit ring? As soon as this message appeared, it shocked everyone connected to the light screen. Bing Bing is polite, what? Dead, soul revived. This light screen can actually connect even characters who have died. Du Guyan, this one at soft bone body, are you a spirit beast? Why do you say your spirit ring was absorbed by a human? Soft bone body, are you all humans? Blue Silver Eternal, soft bone, are you a soft bones rabbit? Soft bone body, Blue Silver Eternal, are you that? Blue Silver from back then? Tang Yuehua, alright, it seems this is a special communication platform. I am just an ordinary spirit master, why was I able to connect? Love eating carrots, mother. Soft bone body, is it you, mother? Soft bone body, is that you, Xiao Wu? You can communicate with me too. Soft bone body, Xiao Wu, where are you now? What is this place? Why have I awakened in a soul state? The place where I am is pitch black. Love eating carrots, mother, it really is you. I am Xiao Wu, I am Xiao Wu. Love eating carrots, it must be the power of this light screen that revived your soul, because you are a new member watching the sharp critiques. Love eating carrots, mother, let me explain it to you all. Following this, Xiao Wu no longer cared if her identity was exposed, and directly explained the rules of the entire light screen sharp critiques. Thus, the three newcomers, Aru and N.A.N, finally understood what was going on. If they wanted to, they could go and watch the content of previous sharp critiques. Soft bone body, so that's how it is. It seems we really did come in because of this N.A.N. BB Dong, wonderful, it seems you were that 100,000-year spirit beast I killed back then. Soft bone body, you are the spirit master who killed me. BB Dong, your name is BB Dong, you beast. Love eating carrots, BB Dong, you wait, I will definitely kill you to avenge my mother. BB Dong, I'll be waiting. You little brat, if I didn't know your location right now, I would have come over personally to kill you and hunt your 100,000-year spirit ring. Soft bone body, Xiao Wu, you must be careful, do not try to avenge your mother. Human spirit masters are too terrifying, no matter what, you must protect yourself. Love eating carrots, I know, mother. Being able to communicate with you now is something I never even dared to imagine. Blue Silver Eternal, so, you are mother and daughter. I also don't know how my child is doing, and how GE, where on earth are you? Chapter 77, N.A.N is not my son. N.A.N is so shocked she cries. Calm and composed, I didn't expect that out of the three newly connected viewers, at least two are spirit beasts. Most loyal believer of the sea got alright, anyway, we don't know exactly where they are. So what if they are spirit beasts? Let's just watch the content of the sharp review first. Soft bone body, by the way, sharp review. Who is this N.A.N? Xiao Wu, do you know him? Love eating carrots, mother, I'm sorry, I don't want to talk about him. Blue Silver Eternal, N.A.N, could it be, is it? Yuehua, the surname is Tang. Is he someone from the Clear Sky sect? BB Dong, that's right, he is the bastard of the Clear Sky sect. Just wait and see, this sharp review will definitely critique N.A.N until there is nothing left of him. Just as BB Dong finished speaking, the content of the sharp review officially began. On the light screen. Please provide a sharp review of N.A.N's actions in Duluo. Sharp review of N.A.N, and limited to Duluo. Is this being saved to slowly reveal the even more disgusting God King N.A.N of Duluo 3? Fine, if that's what you want, I will follow the rules. Objectively speaking, N.A.N in Duluo didn't actually have any major problems. At least he was countless times better than in Duluo 3, but that doesn't mean there aren't points for a sharp review. Because from the very beginning, N.A.N's mindset was twisted, it was wrong. N.A.N, a transmigration traveler from the Tang sect of another world, was already not like a normal person back in his previous life in the Tang sect. As an outer sect disciple of the Tang sect, N.A.N was raised, cared for, and trained by the Tang sect from a young age. According to Tang sect rules, outer sect disciples could not cultivate certain specialized cultivation techniques and could only learn basic hidden weapons and the use of poison. And N.A.N did indeed have extraordinary talent, and therefore even more ambition. So, while shouting slogans about being for the good of the sect, he secretly went to steal the Tang sect's supreme cultivation technique, the mysterious Heaven Treasure Record. Of course, later in the story, it was filled in that N.A.N succeeded in stealing the mysterious Heaven Treasure Record because he had the help of Elder N.A.N, which is to say, the Tang sect leadership tacitly allowed him to steal things. But from N.A.N's perspective, N.A.N didn't know that. From N.A.N's perspective, he was just a thief who violated sect rules and stole the mysterious Heaven Treasure Record. He knew full well that what he was doing was the act of a thief, yet he chose to proceed anyway. This kind of behavior, whether subjectively or objectively, can be defined as theft, right? He is a thief, isn't he? The Tang sect raised you, an orphan, to adulthood, and this is how you treat the Tang sect. Talking about not wanting to waste your talent, and that you could leave the Buddha's Fury Tang Lotus for the Tang sect, does doing the good deed cover up the original bad deed? You already stole their cultivation technique and hidden weapon manufacturing methods, shouldn't the hidden weapons you made have been confiscated? It sounds nice to say you left the Buddha's Fury Tang Lotus for the Tang sect. According to legal principles, since you used their methods and the Tang sect's materials to make it, it was already the Tang sect's property to begin with. In the end, he acts all high and mighty, jumping off the Ghost Sorrow Cliff, thinking he has a clear conscience. From such a starting point, one can see that N.A.N is someone who knows he is doing something wrong but can still find all sorts of excuses to make himself feel at ease. Of course, the Tang sect of his previous life was also a stupid sect, setting a rule that outer sect members could never cultivate high-level cultivation techniques for life, which led to a decline in talent for the Tang sect. They were both stupid in their own ways. Speaking of this, most of the characters who had already learned about it, those who already knew N.A.N was a traveler, were not too surprised. But the three newcomers were all shocked. Blue Silver Eternal, I didn't expect this N.A.N to actually be a traveler, coming from another world. Blue Silver Eternal, and he came as a hypocritical thief who didn't respect his master or the sect. Is he really? Soft Bone Body, an alien from another world actually came to our Duluo continent. And his character doesn't look that great either. I hope Xiao Wu hasn't gotten involved with him. Yuehua, hidden weapons, cultivation techniques. This N.A.N is indeed too hypocritical. He stole it, so he stole it, but in his heart, he refuses to admit it was a bad thing. Maybe if he had admitted it actively, he would have known that the one called N.A.N was willing to protect him. Instead, it was because he didn't admit it that things ended so tragically. Hot girl, you guys just watch slowly, this N.A.N is very disgusting. As for that Xiao Wu, sigh, she is also quite pitiful. Soft Bone Body, what does that mean? Is Xiao Wu related to N.A.N? Xiao Wu, answer me. Love eating carrots, mother, I'm sorry. Bing Bing is polite. I only knew before that Tang-san was a traveler. I didn't expect him to have done so many disgusting things before he traveled. He really is a hypocrite. Calm and composed sigh, no wonder he could become a master and disciple with Yu Xiaogang. Now it seems that there were clues to many things a long time ago. BB Dong, no matter. In the future, I will definitely kill this Tang-san in advance. The crowd discussed, slightly surprised, and continued to watch the light screen. On the light screen, the sharp review was still ongoing. And after Tang-san jumped off the Ghost Sorrow Cliff, he naturally successfully transmigrated to the Duluo continent and became the Tang-san of this world. A long time ago, there was a question: when Tang-san transmigrated here, did he replace the original Tang-san, or was he reincarnated as the Tang-san of this world? Many people have been arguing about it, but in fact, according to the answer from a certain young master of the Tang clan in his public account, Tang-san came through possession. The original Tang-san had long since died. He replaced the original Tang-san to become the character he is now. Back then, the 100,000-year spirit beast Blue Silver Emperor, that is, Ian, met Jian Zunji with Tang Hao. Ian gave birth to Tang-san, and then Ian sacrificed herself to Tang Hao. During the battle, the soul of the original Tang-san died and was replaced by the Tang-san who had transmigrated. This can be called possession. Strictly speaking, this Tang-san can no longer be considered the son of Tang Hao and Ian. This is also a point that people criticize. You, Tang-san, are not their son at all, yet Tang Hao still treats you with such indifference and doesn't even raise you. Yet you are still so loyal to Tang Hao, licking his boots so hard. Are you sick in the head, or is feudal ideology too deeply ingrained in you? Such an idiot. If you say he is loyal and filial, he was so proactive about stealing the mysterious heaven treasure record in his previous life. If you say he is not loyal and filial, he licks Tang Hao like crazy. A complete bundle of contradictions that makes people unable to understand at all. Once these words were spoken, it wasn't very novel to most people. Those female characters had long known Tang-san was a traveler, whether it was possession or reincarnation didn't matter. But for Ian, this was an extremely important key point. Blue Silver Eternal, what? Tang-san is indeed my child. No, he is not my child. Blue Silver Eternal, my child actually died a long time ago. The one who replaced Little San now is such an alien from another world. How could this be? Chapter 78. Old Jack gets nothing. Tang-san is ungrateful. Once Ian spoke, everyone was stunned on the spot. No one expected that of the few characters who had connected today, two would immediately expose their own identities. And these two were none other than Xiao Wu's mother and Tang-san's mother. Bing Bing is polite. You are Tang-san's mother. Then you must be the Blue Silver Grass Spirit Beast. Shouldn't you be dead too? Hot girl, good heavens, this is meant to reveal Tang-san's true identity to his own mother. It's going to make him lose all support. Du Guyan, I've discovered that this light screen has a similar agenda. Previously, it exposed Yu Xiaogang, which also made him lose all support. Even BB Dong and that other person don't really like Yu Xiaogang anymore. Du Guyan, so now, is it trying to make Tang-san lose all support too? Needle-tailed Swift, that's normal, isn't it? Her own son is long gone, and now an outsider has occupied her son's identity. Why should she still acknowledge the son? BB Dong at Blue Silver Eternal, so you are that spirit beast. You're actually still alive, didn't you sacrifice yourself? Blue Silver Eternal, I am Blue Silver Grass, so naturally, I possess the ability to live on endlessly. It's just a pity that I am now only a Blue Silver Grass with a dozen years of cultivation. BB Dong, even if you find me, it's useless. BB Dong, that makes sense. I was just wondering how you could have been resurrected after sacrificing yourself. So you're just an ordinary Blue Silver Grass now. Interesting. BB Dong, you're right, you're completely useless now, and I have zero interest in you. Soft Bone Body at Blue Silver Eternal, indeed, you are also a spirit beast. Unlike me, I only have my soul left, and it was this light screen that helped me awaken. Blue Silver Eternal, I didn't expect this light screen to exist, and even less did I expect that my son actually died long ago. Blue Silver Eternal, if what the light screen says is true, and my son's body was occupied by an outsider, then I will not acknowledge this person either. Bing Bing is polite at Blue Silver Eternal, it's a pity, Andy, your son is indeed gone. The current Tang-san is a transmigration from another world. Bing Bing is polite, we read a sharp critique earlier that revealed this Tang-san even has to rely on the hidden weapons and spirit ability from his previous life to fight. He can't even be considered a proper spirit master. Sigh. Blue Silver Eternal, if that's the case, then my child, I'm afraid he really isn't here anymore. Blue Silver Eternal, Little San, I'm sorry, it's Mom's fault for not being able to protect you back then. Ellipsis. Saint Spirit Village Cave. Ian was still just an ordinary Blue Silver Grass, staying in this dark, sunless environment. At this moment, her consciousness was laden with infinite pain. She wanted to cry, but she had no tears and no body. Who could have imagined that she, a Blue Silver Emperor, a noble 100,000-year spirit beast, would end up in such a state? Brother Hao, you didn't protect our child. Little San, Mom is sorry for failing you. And Brother Hao, after all these years, where are you exactly? Could it be that you only wanted my spirit ring? Where are you right now? I am so lonely, staying here all by myself. Brother Hao, Little San. Quote ellipsis quote. Great sorrow is silent. Ian could only silently bear the pain in her heart, unable to say anything. She couldn't even take back her child's body. The current Tang-san. You stole my child's body. You are not worthy of being my son at all. If one day I can recover, I will definitely take back my child's body. Tang-san, you just wait. I will definitely avenge my real son. All Ian could do now was try her best to motivate herself and give herself more desire to survive. Even if it was just to take back her child's body in the future, she had to deal with this Tang-san. This was fake, this wasn't her child, so he shouldn't be living in this world. Thinking of this, N.A.N endured the pain and continued to look at the light screen, attempting to shift her emotions. The other female characters, seeing her words, all felt pity for this mother. Each character was mourning and sighing. Tang-san's reputation among them had already completely rotted. Ellipsis. Inside the light screen. The content of the sharp critique was unaffected by the comment section and continued as usual. If it is said that Tang-san is blindly loyal due to so-called feudal thinking, then his thought process is still incomprehensible. For example, Old Jack, the village chief of Saint Spirit Village, who was very good to him since he was a child, regardless of what Old Jack's motives were. Perhaps Old Jack just wanted a spirit master to come out of the village to advertise for it, which is why he was good to Tang-san. But in reality, who could have predicted that Tang-san would become a spirit master? Tang Hao was just an ordinary blacksmith in Saint Spirit Village, and Tang-san was just a slightly more sensible child. Who could predict whether Tang-san could become a spirit master? So objectively speaking, Old Jack's kindness to Tang-san, worrying that Tang-san would starve or freeze to death since he was young, sending him food, supplies, and taking care of him. In this regard, Old Jack is the one worthy of being called Tang-san's father. Tang Hao completely disregarded his survival, while Old Jack raised him. If not for Old Jack, before Tang-san could cultivate, he easily could have starved or frozen to death. At the very least, this is a life-saving grace multiple times over, any normal person would not overlook this. But what about our Tang-san? Apart from the time when he awakened his spirit and called Old Jack Grandpa a few times, showing him a little respect, he completely forgot about Old Jack afterward. Even when Tang-san became a god, Old Jack gained nothing, at most having the village's name changed to Saint Spirit Village. Fine, you desperately lick the boots of a father who didn't care if you lived or died. Yet you ignore a benefactor who saved your life at least when you were young. Connecting this to the previous context, you chose to steal things to repay the Tang sect that raised you. Is this still a normal person's brain? You ignore those who were truly good to you, but instead eagerly lick those who were bad to you. Are you, Tang-san, born with a masochistic nature? Or do you have Stockholm Syndrome? You only feel good when others abuse you, right? If others deceive you, if you truly abuse Tang-san, then that is a Tao of death, unless your name is Tang Hao. Speaking to this point, it incited even more disgust from the female characters. Although no one knew exactly who this Old Jack was, to be so good to Tang-san and yet receive nothing in return. This is too ungrateful, right? Chapter 79, The Pure and Flawless Young Master Tang-san. A series of brain-dead moments that make people laugh. BB Dong, it's not that I haven't seen ungrateful people, I am one myself. BB Dong, but I betrayed Tian Zunji because Tian Zunji had problems first. Even someone like me wouldn't stoop to Tang-san's level. BB Dong, this Old Jack obviously treated him sincerely when he was young. I suffered through my childhood, too. If I had met an elder like that, someone who treated me well without asking for anything in return, I would have been willing to call him father. BB Dong, at the very least, I could have given him a fortune to let him live out his old age in happiness. Calm and composed comparing the two, BB Dong, you are still better than Tang-san. This Tang-san is actually this disgusting. Impressive. Hot girl Tang Hao was bad to him, and he groveled. Old Jack was good to him, and he ignored him. Sigh, if we ever meet this guy named Tang-san in the future, we should just walk the other way. The only princess, I thought Tang-san and Xiao Wu just weren't compatible, which is why he caused Xiao Wu such misery. I didn't expect Tang-san's true character to be like this. The only princess, I understand now. If Xiao Wu ends up with him in the future and gets sick to death, maybe it's not a coincidence. It really is because Tang-san's character is flawed. Meow meow meow, that makes sense. Only now do I realize that Tang-san's true character is like this, sigh. Soft bone body, Xiao Wu, will Xiao Wu be in danger? Xiao Wu, you must never be with this person named Tang-san. Love eating carrots, mom, I know. I have already distanced myself from Tang-san. I am in a very safe place where no one can find me. Soft bone body, that's good. If you ever run into such a hypocritical human, you must stay away. BB Dong, little rabbit, you just wait. Even if Tang-san can't find you, I will find you. Most loyal believer of the sea god, alright, stop arguing about this. Let's keep watching. I'm afraid Tang-san's problems go far beyond this. Peerless Duluobo Saishi spoke up, reminding everyone what the point of arguing in the light screen was. It would be better to just watch the specific content. Everyone focused their attention. Inside the light screen. The tragedy of Old Jack is heartbreaking. Until his death, he never thought of using their past relationship to demand benefits from Tang-san, and he was even proud that Tang-san became a god. When Tang-san turned 6, he was led by Old Jack to awaken his spirit. Originally, Tang Hao wouldn't let Tang-san go. Look, he was harming Tang-san again. It was Old Jack who insisted on dragging Tang-san along, which led to a successful awakening. If not for Old Jack, Tang-san might have awakened his spirit later. After all, Tang Hao couldn't really let Tang-san be a blacksmith for his whole life. But in that state, Tang Hao would have needed at least a few years to accept reality and awaken Tang-san's spirit, right? By the time a few years passed, Tian Runshui would have already become a god. If not for Old Jack, if you, Tang-san, had been even a little bit slower, you might have missed various opportunities and ended up destroyed by the Spirit Hall. To have received such great kindness, and yet Tang-san still ignores it. Later, Tang-san awakened the twin spirits of Blue Silver Grass and Clear Sky Hammer, possessing top-tier innate full spirit power. Only then, seeing Tang-san's exaggerated talent, was Tang Hao willing to acknowledge Tang-san as his son. Calling him a good child, over and over. Why? Because Tang Hao needed Tang-san's combat power to avenge him and to fight against the Spirit Hall. If you weren't a twin spirits user, if you didn't have innate full spirit power, do you think Tang Hao would care whether you lived or died? Afterwards, Tang-san followed Old Jack to study at the Elementary Spirit Master Academy in New Oding City. It is here that even more of Tang-san's brain-dead moments are revealed. The three idiots of entering the academy. The first idiot, ready to kill at the slightest disagreement, the righteous and kind young master N.A.N. N.A.N arrived at the academy with old Jack. Because spirit masters rarely appeared in most villages, the academy guard looked down on old Jack and wanted to drive old Jack and the others away. At this moment, N.A.N wanted to stand up for old Jack. This was also the only time he helped old Jack. As for the method of helping, he prepared to use hidden weapons to assassinate the guard directly. That's right, just a guard who pushed old Jack a little and said a few contemptuous words. He was wrong, but not to an egregious extent. N.A.N, without saying a word, took his hidden weapons and prepared to find an opportunity to kill the guard on the street. And he even contributed a classic line, the way of taking death. From then on, any person or beast that wasn't good to N.A.N could be summarized with the phrase, the way of taking death. The second idiot, being fooled into becoming a cripple, the wise and loyal young master N.A.N. After entering the academy, Yu Xiaobing saw him and thought, this child has innate full spirit power. Although Yu Xiaobing is a hypocrite, he has a little bit of a brain. Seeing that this kid had innate full spirit power but a trash spirit, he guessed whether N.A.N might have a powerful spirit. So, when Yu Xiaobing tested him, good heavens, N.A.N was scared on the spot, confirming it for Yu Xiaobing. Yu Xiaobing immediately spewed out a bunch of nonsense, saying he had researched something about blue silver grass spirit masters, fooling N.A.N completely. N.A.N didn't say a word and immediately knelt down to take him as a master. Just because Yu Xiaobing guessed his twin spirits, and Yu Xiaobing said a bunch of theories without evidence. Fine. N.A.N, you truly are worthy of having lived 2 lives. As expected of someone nearly 30 or 40 years old, you have so much life experience and so much wisdom. Someone fools you with a few words, and you immediately go for, a teacher for a day is a father for life. To be able to pick the worst piece of trash among so many normal spirit masters on the Duluo continent as your teacher, your judgment really is unique. Afterwards, N.A.N was even more loyal. Even after knowing Yu Xiaobing was a piece of trash, he remained loyal and obedient. This is the second idiot. The third idiot, a man who has lived 2 lives but loves lawless, the pure and flawless young master N.A.N. After successfully taking a master, N.A.N arrived at the dormitory, defeated Wang Sheng, and was then defeated by the newly arrived Xiao Wu. From that moment on, N.A.N fell in love with Xiao Wu and regarded her as his love at first sight. Hey, don't deny it. Later, N.A.N himself said that his feelings for Xiao Wu were indeed love at first sight. Damn it, you are a grown man in your 30s, and you fall in love at first sight with a little girl like Xiao Wu. Isn't this just lusting after beauty? Isn't this just XX children? There are some things I don't even dare to say, for fear that the censors will ban me again. Don't tell me that Xiao Wu is actually a 100,000-year spirit beast in human form. The point is, did N.A.N know that at the time? To N.A.N at that time, Xiao Wu was just a 6-year-old girl, and he fell in love at first sight. This kind of thing, even in the most open lighthouse country, would have to be hidden and kept quiet. You, N.A.N, didn't even try to hide it. What, does your pure and flawless young master N.A.N also want to go to the island and sit at the same table as those politicians from the lighthouse country? Chapter 80, the first spirit ring is a 10-year solitary bamboo. This is Yu Xiaobing's love. Bing Bing is polite, huh? Bing Bing is polite, good grief, he just entered N.A.N Academy, and how did they already bring up the 3 idiots? Du Guyan, I said it long ago, N.A.N must have a touch of brain damage. Who knew that right after entering the academy, he would immediately make one foolish mistake after another. Hot girl, this N.A.N is way too brutal. The guard was just a bit arrogant, it would have been fine if you just beat him up, but you wanted to kill him straight away. That's way too much. Hot girl, it's not that I haven't seen nobles treat human lives like grass, but I've never seen a commoner like you slaughtering people indiscriminately. You didn't receive that kind of brain damaged noble education, did you? Most loyal believer of the sea god, I originally thought that N.A.N taking a piece of trash like Yu Xiaobing as his teacher was because Yu Xiaobing had shown some powerful ability, which won N.A.N over. Most loyal believer of the sea god, but I didn't expect it was actually just because Yu Xiaobing saw through his twin spirits. Come on, a blue silver grass with innate full spirit power, many knowledgeable people would have guessed that, right? Most loyal believer of the sea god, this Yu Xiaobing was just a blind cat running into a dead mouse. He got those high-level theories from the spirit hall, then blattered randomly, hit the mark, and directly tricked N.A.N into successfully becoming his disciple. The only princess back then, we also thought N.A.N and Yu Xiaobing had a very deep relationship. I didn't expect the apprenticeship process to be so slipshod. Meow meow meow, no wonder the sharp reviews called him stupid. It turns out he really is stupid. Sigh, I couldn't tell back when we were at Shrek. The only princess thinking about it now, didn't we also lose our minds by following them? Why on earth did we believe someone who only made us run laps? Love eating carrots, I didn't know Little San and Yu Xiaobing's apprenticeship was so direct either. Is Little San really someone who has lived 2 lifetimes? Soft bone body, Xiao Wu, what is this light screen saying about N.A.N liking you? Is it true or false? You aren't being pestered by him, are you? Love eating carrots, mother, I'm sorry, I misjudged him. Soft bone body, could it be that you and he already? Xiao Wu, how could this happen? The only princess Andy, don't worry, nothing has happened yet. We watched the sharp reviews in advance and hid away long ago, staying far away from N.A.N and the others. Meow meow meow, yeah, Andy, don't say anything for now. Let Xiao Wu slowly come to terms with reality. Soft bone body, abominable N.A.N, if the day comes when I am resurrected, I will never let you off. Blue silver eternal, for the sake of my original child, I won't let him off either. As everyone discussed, N.A.N was indeed the protagonist. In just this short amount of time, a whole batch of content ripe for sharp reviews had been produced. Furthermore, the light screen was far from stopping. On the light screen. With the 3 idiots over, did you think the matters at N.A.N Academy were resolved? Hilarious. No matter where he goes, it's impossible for Tang-san to keep quiet. After the successful apprenticeship, Yu Xiaobing took Tang-san to the spirit hunting forest to hunt spirit beasts and find a spirit ring for him. At first, the two saw a 10-year solitary bamboo. Oh my, Yu Xiaobing liked it so much that he immediately shouted that this bamboo was suitable for Tang-san. Sure, Yu Xiaobing, is this your level of teaching? You actually suggested this kind of junk. You have the nerve to bring it up. A 10-year solitary bamboo. Isn't this just a random bamboo growing by the roadside? If someone chopped you down, your age would probably be several decades. Seriously, if someone chopped down old Jack, he might even drop a yellow spirit ring. Some people might say, oh dear, didn't Grandmaster ultimately not let Tang-san absorb the bamboo spirit ring? Bullshit. If he dared, Tang-san would have minced him into ground meat on the spot. Would he dare? They continued to search for spirit beasts afterward. Hey, they encountered a datura snake. Just as Yu Xiaobing was about to protect his disciple, he hurriedly summoned Luo-san Pig. Oh no, Luo-san Pao. But who would have thought it was completely useless and got insta-killed by the datura snake in a matter of minutes? In the end, it was Tang-san who used hidden weapons to kill this 100-year spirit beast. When Yu Xiaobing woke up, he saw a several 100-year spirit beast right beside him. Without another word, he claimed that this datura snake was suitable for Tang-san and urged him to absorb it immediately. I bet it's because Yu Xiaobing, couldn't beat any other spirit beasts. If he didn't absorb this one, you wouldn't be able to help Tang-san get a spirit beast anyway, right? In the end, he even bragged a whole bunch, talking about how plant spirits can absorb beast-type spirit rings, and that blue silver grass is best off using poison. Hey, then let me ask, if a plant spirit can absorb both plants and animals, why go out of the way to absorb animals? Wouldn't absorbing plants have a higher compatibility? Besides, a perfectly good blue silver grass could clearly take a life bath. Or rather, Tang-san's blue silver emperor is most suited for the life bath. You motherfucker made him absorb a toxic spirit ring. Are you sure you aren't trying to suppress Tang-san's vitality? And you call yourself a grandmaster of theory. Why don't you change careers and become a storyteller? Okay. Since you're just making things up anyway, wouldn't that suit you perfectly? If Yu Xiaobing, had the strength of a normal 2-ring spirit grandmaster, you wouldn't have been insta-killed by the datura snake. Sigh, Tang-san meeting a teacher like you is truly the worst luck of 8 lifetimes. In the end, Yu Xiaobing even fainted and was saved by Tang-san, and when Yu Xiaobing was weak, Tang-san carried him back. Hunting spirit beasts the whole way, I really couldn't see any use for Yu Xiaobing at all. What a great grandmaster, acting as a role model for teachers. Seeing this, although it was a sharp review of Tang-san, the narrator couldn't help but roast Yu Xiaobing a bit. After watching this, the girls' faces were also filled with disgust. BB don't sigh, why didn't I see through Yu Xiaobing's ugly face sooner? He couldn't even beat a several 100-year datura snake. BB don't know, it's not that he couldn't beat it. He didn't even have a chance to resist. A normal 2-ring spirit grandmaster can tangle, fight, and even have a chance to kill a 100-year spirit beast when they encounter one. BB don't sigh, how embarrassing. Calm and composed, I need to be calm and composed, I can't get angry anymore. Damn you, Yu Xiaobing, you're such a piece of trash. When I meet you, I'll chop you up sooner or later. You just wait for me. Most loyal believer of the sea god, didn't the person upstairs say they wanted to be calm and composed? Hot girl yuck tilde. This Yu Xiaobing claimed to be taking his disciple to hunt spirits, yet he really was completely useless. I've seen useless teachers, but I've never seen one like this. Bing Bing is polite. We've had sharp reviews on Yu Xiaobing before, but they mainly focused on his theoretical issues. Looking at it now, it's not just that his theories are bad, he's incompetent in every aspect. Chapter 81, The Room Dai Mubai Reserve. On what grounds do you, Tang-san, object? Du Guyan, can such a man even be reliable? Just looking at the fact that he plagiarizes theories, it's obvious that his character is flawed. Blue Silver Eternal, the light screen is right. The defining characteristics of blue silver grass are its compatibility and vitality. Wildfires cannot burn it out, it grows again with the spring breeze. This is the true strength of blue silver grass. Blue Silver Eternal, why did this Yu Xiaobing make Tang-san absorb a spirit ring with toxic properties? Doesn't that completely suppress the inherent characteristics of blue silver grass? Soft bone body, didn't it say earlier that if he didn't absorb this datura snake spirit ring, Yu Xiaobing wouldn't have any combat power against other spirit beasts? He wouldn't be able to beat them. Blue Silver Eternal, should I be happy or what? He isn't my son, so I shouldn't really hope for him to become stronger. But after all, he is the next generation's Blue Silver Emperor, so he should be properly nurtured. Soft bone body, I seem to have heard of the legacy of the Blue Silver Emperor lineage. You could completely find a way to resurrect yourself, and then you wouldn't have to let this Tang-san become the new Blue Silver Emperor, right? Blue Silver Eternal, but right now, I'm just an ordinary blue silver grass, I can't do anything, sigh. As she spoke, Ayan's heart became increasingly conflicted. If she could, she would naturally prefer to intercept him now, rather than letting Tang-san become the next Blue Silver Emperor. Otherwise, wouldn't giving her such a noble bloodline to an outsider be a stain on the honorable position of the Blue Silver Emperor? Ayan stayed in the cave, praying only that someone could take her away and bring her back to the Blue Silver Forest. Originally, she could have resurrected herself, but that would require sharing the power of many of her subjects, and she simply wasn't willing to do that. But now that there's a Tang-san, it would be better for her to return sooner, otherwise it would cause even more damage to her Blue Silver Grass clan. Ayan was in the cave, looking at the light screen, and said with a hint of prayerful sensing. The one who provides sharp critiques, you know so much, you must know where I am, right? I only ask that you take me back to the Blue Silver Forest to prevent Tang-san's future awakening. If you can protect our Blue Silver clan, Ayan will be your beast of burden and serve you for a lifetime. Unfortunately, although she thought this way and prayed like this in her heart, she actually couldn't make it happen. How would this mysterious and noble critic even pay attention to her? Ian swayed her body, helplessly forced to just watch the light screen. Inside the light screen. After the spirit hunting operation ended, Yu Xiaobing was extremely weak. Tang Hao appeared and gave Yu Xiaobing a spirit hall elder token. Of course, this thing was utterly useless to Yu Xiaobing, he didn't accomplish anything with it afterwards. Except to help him show off. In the time that followed, Tang San continued to cultivate his relationship with Xiao Wu. Unknowingly, 6 years passed, and they followed Yu Xiaobing's instructions to head to Shrek Academy. On the way, Tang San bought some kind of hair crystal, a very formidable natural hidden weapon. And as for finding a hotel next, it was completely speechless. One can only say that animals are just animals, they have no sense of reason at all. So, Tang San and Xiao Wu arrived at a place called the Rose Hotel, wanting to book a room to rest, but were told by the staff that there were no rooms available. Hey, just then, the king of philanderers, Dai Mubai, came out hugging a pair of twins, saying he wanted to check into the room he had reserved, ready to have a good time. Oh my, when Tang San and the others saw this, they thought, isn't there a room? And immediately started trouble. Give me a break, it was reserved. Do you understand what reserve means? It means this room belongs only to Dai Mubai. And this idiot Xiao Wu was also brain dead, seeing the twins and Dai Mubai like that, she just had to intervene. The twins were paid for, okay. They were willing, so when did it become your turn to start yelling here? Anyway, they just wanted to fight, chaos ensued, and they didn't care if the hotel facilities would be damaged, they just wanted to execute justice, thinking they were some kind of savior. If I were Dai Mubai, I would be absolutely furious. I reserved a room normally, and just because you want to stay there, I'm suddenly in the wrong. I paid for 2 chicks, and they were willing, just because you find it displeasing to look at, I'm in the wrong again. Why don't you scold those 2 chicks? If you scolded them, believe it or not, those 2 chicks would probably blame you for hindering them from earning money. It's just that Dai Mubai isn't very bright, even after being bullied like this, he actually didn't hurt Tang San and the other, and just gave away the room he had booked. You are truly amazing, old Dai, were you cursed or something? Aren't you usually quite arrogant? How come as soon as you meet Tang San, you don't play with chicks anymore? You don't even want your reserved room? Are you just purely here to deliver benefits to Tang San? You are really generous, why don't you give me 20,000 yuan? Meow meow meow, disgusting, I want to vomit. As expected of that scumbag Dai Mubai, he even went for twins. Meow meow meow, fortunately, because of the light screen, Dai Mubai is also being thought of as a scammer. The animals of Shrek, every one of them is a philanderer. The only princess, sigh, I really have to admit this point. Shrek is notorious for producing philanderers. I didn't expect Dai Mubai to play so wildly, starting off directly with twins. The only princess, do men like twins that much? I heard the price for this kind is quite a bit higher. Hot girl from previous sharp critiques, I knew the people of Shrek were filthy, but I didn't expect them to be this filthy. Grabbing twins and walking around in broad daylight, they wouldn't even do it outside, would they? Bing Bing is polite, Duluo continent just has this kind of atmosphere, I'm almost used to it. But for a man, even if you conquered others by your own strength, that would be fine, but looking for these paid ones is just too disgusting. Calm and composed, let me say one thing. There are no normal men left in this Duluo continent. BB Dong agreed. Blue Silver Eternal seconded. Meow meow meow, makes sense. Du Guyan, it's not that bad. I have met one decent man, although I'm afraid he isn't someone I can monopolize all to myself, at least he is truly good to me. Du Guyan, with his help, I can at least gain tangible benefits. He is thousands of times better than men like you Xiaobing and Dai Mubai who only know how to talk big. Blue Silver Eternal, young girls are the most prone to thinking like you. Sigh. Needle-tailed Swift, aren't we supposed to be sharply critiquing Tang San? I think in this part, Tang San's problem is even bigger, right? Needle-tailed Swift, who cares if Dai Mubai is a philanderer, him finding women has nothing to do with them. And the room was reserved by him, this Tang San trying to snatch the room, that's the real problem, right? Hot girl, what you say also makes sense. Finding women, sigh, it's all commonplace on the Duluo continent. If a man is a powerhouse, it's normal for him to have many women. Hot girl, but Tang San knowing the other party is in the right and still provoking them, that's what's even more disgusting. No wonder the sharp critique calls him a Sanzi. Chapter 82, Xiao Wu suffers backlash. Why am I, Zhao Wuji, guilty? The female characters, one by one, didn't hold back when criticizing. Tang San's behavior throughout this journey was truly disgusting and nauseating. Dai Mubai had already properly booked those rooms, yet he had to give them up to you. You, Tang San, are just too overbearing and unreasonable. Watching this, the disdain for Tang San in everyone's hearts only grew heavier. And the sharp commentary was far from over, it was just getting started. Inside the light screen, the sharp commentary continued. After obtaining the right to stay at the hotel, the staff couldn't say anything else and just had to open rooms for them. The next day, following Yu Xiaobing's words, they arrived at this dilapidated Shrek Academy. What met their eyes was unimaginable ruin. If not for Yu Xiaobing's guarantee, who in their right mind would come to a school like this? Shrek Academy is also extremely disgusting, swindling people out of money, how shameless. To start with, the registration fee is 10 gold coins. Although the gold coin system in Duluo continent is truly chaotic, one moment saying a gold coin is enough for a commoner family to live on for years, the next saying Tang San can earn 1 gold coin very quickly. But regardless, it's clear that 10 gold coins are still an unimaginably huge sum for ordinary people. Shrek Academy collects registration fees from student after student, and if they aren't satisfied, they won't let them in. And if you aren't let in, you can't get your registration fee back. To you, 10 gold coins might not be much, but for them, this is a basic registration fee that took ages to save up. Not to mention that you didn't publicize the rules in advance at all, only when it was close to the time to accept disciples did you have someone tell the parents. What the hell, if this isn't swindling money, then what is? You don't state the rules for accepting disciples beforehand. You wait until people have traveled from all over the world to reach your Shrek, and only then do you tell them. Can they just leave? In the end, aren't they still handing their money over to you? If this isn't swindling money, what is? And if they want a refund, they have to fight Daimubai. So this isn't swindling money, this is robbery. Naked robbery. Not to mention Shrek Academy's other promotional claims, which are even more bullshit and deceptive. According to what passers-by said when Tang-san and the others first arrived, Shrek claims in its promotion that it's an academy where graduates can become Viscounts of the Empire. May I ask, besides the later Shrek 7 Devils, or rather, Tang-san and those other cheaters, of the people who graduated before you, which one has obtained a title from the two great empires? If this isn't deception, what is? You even say it was claimed by Spirit Hall. Are you sure Spirit Hall would even look at your Shrek? Who knows if this information about what Spirit Hall said is true or false? It was completely spread by you yourselves, right? And there's that other claim in the promotion that the most outstanding student of Shrek Academy is now the youngest elder of Spirit Hall. Wait, why doesn't BB Dong know about this? Since when did your Shrek have anything to do with their title Duluo from Spirit Hall? A school like this reveals nothing but hypocrisy and deception from top to bottom. Now that I think about it, it's no wonder Yu Xiaobing would have Tang-san and the others come to Shrek Academy. On one hand, Yu Xiaobing's hypocrisy matches Shrek. On the other hand, if he left Shrek, what other academy would even treat Yu Xiaobing like a human being? No academy anywhere would be willing to accept a useless teacher like Yu Xiaobing who only knows how to eat and talk big but can't actually do anything, right? Yu Xiaobing says he is doing it for Tang-san and the others, introducing them to Shrek, but in reality, it's just to maintain his own status. After all, if he went to any other academy, he'd be nothing but a stray dog on the roadside. Sure enough, this master and disciple are birds of a feather, each thinking only of their own interests. Tang-san is also an idiot. Coming to Shrek, with his experience from 2 lifetimes, he should have been able to see that Shrek was swindling people out of money, yet he was still willing to join. I can only say that Tang-san must like this feeling of being surrounded by stench, just like returning to the cesspit he dreamed of. However, relying on his own excellence and strength, their registration went quite smoothly, and they were even taken directly by Daimubai to the final test, which was to last for 1 incense stick's time under that so-called immovable bright king, Zhao Wuji. This Zhao Wuji is also something. When he first appeared, he was boasted up to be so impressive, the immovable bright king, someone who could survive under a spirit Duluo. But in the end, he turned out to be useless. At most, he just got beaten up by Tang Hao, remaining nothing more than a background character. And the unfortunate part for Zhao Wuji was during the test, when Xiao Wu failed to charm him and suffered a backlash. As a result, Tang-san went completely insane, immediately trying to kill him, using countless hidden weapons regardless of whether the other party lived or died, including the dragon beard needle made of hair crystals. In the end, he really almost caused an accident for Zhao Wuji. After all, Tang-san was truly trying to beat him to death. Xiao Wu used charm herself, wanting to control Zhao Wuji, but because the gap in rank was too large, the charm failed. What does this have to do with Zhao Wuji? Just because she suffered a backlash from her own move, Zhao Wuji deserves to die. And you just go crazy, not caring if he lives or dies. It's fortunate that Zhao Wuji still had some strength, otherwise, if it had been anyone else, they would have been killed by you long ago. What did he do wrong? His only mistake was not standing still and letting you and Xiao Wu beat him down, right? No wonder people say Tang-san has double standards. If someone can't beat you, it's because they're too weak. Now that you can't beat someone, it's because they deserve to die. Fine, you win no matter what. You really are like Qin Shi Huang touching an electric wire, you've won until you're numb. Seeing this, Song Yi's desire to complain was completely obvious and uncontrollable. The characters, one by one, watched with extreme disgust, feeling only that Tang-san was nauseating. Bing Bing is polite, how embarrassing, this Tang-san. He didn't protect Xiao Wu well, so what is he going crazy for? I hate boys with unstable emotions like this the most. Dugu Yan yeah, Xiao Wu suffered a backlash from her own charm, what does that have to do with Zhao Wuji? What exactly is the problem? Dugu Yan Zhao Wuji didn't do anything, yet you, Tang-san, want to kill him. If this isn't a madman, what is? Hot girl actually, to be honest, for a girl, Tang-san seems infatuated, but it's more like pathological possessiveness. Xiao Wu herself isn't even like this, yet he goes crazy. Hot girl with a person like this, if you really entered a relationship with him, one moment of carelessness would trigger Tang-san to go crazy. You simply can't get along with him. Bing Bing is polite, no wonder in the future, when Xiao Wu marries him, she gets sick and dies. I really suspect that later in the God realm, Xiao Wu might have gotten sick from being angered. Chapter 83, Others can't mess with women, but my brother Tang-san can. Can the double standards be any more obvious? Soft bone body what? Xiao Wu will marry this Tang-san in the future, and will even be angered to death. Soft bone body Xiao Wu, answer me, is this true? Love eating carrots mom, I'm sorry, but don't worry, these things won't happen. I will never have contact with Tang-san again. 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School. Xiao Wu leaned against the head of the bed, looking at the sharp commentary on the light screen, and then looking at her poor mother. She recalled every little detail of her time with Tang-san, only feeling a tightness in her chest. Little San, perhaps he does love me, but his love is too suffocating. Just like what was said on the light screen just now, I used charm to control Zhao Wuji, and it was because my spirit power was insufficient that I suffered a backlash, but why did little San have to go so crazy? Does this mean that in the future, whatever I do, if I encounter even the slightest issue, he will go crazy? With such a personality, how can one live? Sigh. Ning Rongrong and Zhu Qing, listening from the side, felt the same way. This kind of love was indeed easy to make people feel suffocated, unable to survive normally. Ning Rongrong smiled bitterly. The problem with Oscar and Daimubai is that they don't love enough. But Tang-san's problem is that he is too crazy. These men are all too extreme. Isn't there anyone who is slightly more normal, even if they have some flaws, who isn't so extreme? Zhu Jing nodded, thinking of Dai Mubai's disgusting appearance earlier. She couldn't help but want to throw up again. It was just that this was a shared room, and she was afraid of making a mess. However, at this moment, Zhu Jing couldn't help but recall Song Yi again. I think Song Yi is actually okay. Although he looks a bit lustful, at least he isn't some lecher, and he won't force others. Besides, I still remember the immortal herb he gave me. Clearly, he could have kept it all. Ning Rongrong and Xiao Wu continued to listen, also thinking of this person. The more they compared, the more they felt that Song Yi was relatively more normal, and naturally, they had a good impression of him. The two spoke almost simultaneously. This person, he actually seems quite okay. After speaking, the two looked at each other, both feeling awkward. They hadn't expected that they both had some thoughts about Song Yi. Zhu Jing noticed the awkwardness and continued, then, let's watch the light screen. Let's not talk about it, cough cough. On the light screen. Defeating Zhao Wuji and successfully enrolling, Tang San finally fell into this cesspit called Shrek, and from then on, there was no stopping him. But who would have thought that the next day, he would go crazy again? Early the next morning, Xiao Wu and Tang San met Ma Hongjun, who happened to be breaking up with his girlfriend. With the same old meddling, Tang San and Xiao Wu went up against Ma Hongjun. In reality, this was their own internal affair. You little San, if you don't meddle in other people's messy business, you can't live, right? Of course, Ma Hongjun himself isn't a good thing either. With his spirit master physique, can an ordinary civilian girl handle it? And with his status as a spirit master, can a civilian girl refuse to be your girlfriend? In the end, it's all feudal remnants who don't treat people as people. Finally, Dai Mubai appeared, explained everything clearly, and the misunderstanding was resolved. Later, there were a bunch of things like Ning Rongrong throwing a tantrum, forming a team to start spirit fighting, following Oscar to hunt spirit beasts, and so on. During this period, Xiao Wu was taken away by the Titan giant ape. Afterward, Tang San was busy showing off in front of Meng Yiren and enjoying Meng Yiren's sweet kiss, not caring whether Xiao Wu lived or died. I won't even mention that. When they returned to Shrek, Yu Xiaobing also arrived smoothly and started the so-called special training for the monsters. So, what was the method of special training? That's right, running laps with weights. I really don't know how many days and nights our Grandmaster studied, how many brain cells he wasted, how much energy he spent, how much wisdom he gathered, and how many choices he weighed. Only then did he realize this truth: weight-bearing training can strengthen the physique. Heavens, such an earth-shattering theory was actually thought of by a small honey badger. Have to say, Grandmaster is indeed Grandmaster. The sect of Grandmaster will last forever. The sect of Grandmaster will flourish. Can you imagine that in the Duluo continent where everyone is a spirit master, only Grandmaster realized the method of weight-bearing training and running laps to become stronger? Even later, relying on this training method, Grandmaster was called a devil teacher by students like Tang San. Wow, so powerful, I knew it. Other teachers definitely didn't know the effect of exercising the body and running laps. After training for a long time, everyone's physique increased by 1/10,000th, which was of no help to their subsequent absorption of spirit rings. At the same time, another idiotic event occurred. One day, because Ma Hongjun was competing for a girl at a pleasure house and didn't win, he called Tang San and the others to avenge him. Even Xiao Wu knew about this and was happily preparing to rush over to help Ma Hongjun snatch the girl. What was the final result? Xiao Wu disguised herself as Xiao Bai, seduced the person who was competing with Ma Hongjun for the girl, and beat the other party into a eunuch. Wow, so righteous. Is this the legendary Shrek 7 Devils? Because your own member wanted to find a girl, and because they didn't have enough money and couldn't win, the girl was booked by someone else. The Shrek 7 Devils were going to make this person who booked the girl disabled. Is this something a human would do? Originally, the girl was willing to go with that person. If you, Ma Hongjun, are not convinced, bring more money. What did the person who booked the girl do wrong to be made disabled by you all? You are not in the right, but you go to provoke trouble every day. You Shrek people are truly upright and kind, right? You, Tang San, are also disgusting. You actually went to help Ma Hongjun snatch a girl. You don't even feel ashamed. You have completely acquiesced to this kind of thing, right? Before at the hotel, you were meddling, not letting Dai Mubai find twins. Then at Shrek, you didn't let Ma Hongjun find his own girlfriend. Now that you've been influenced by bad company, Ma Hongjun and the others are your brothers, so you approve of them messing with women again. If they are not your brothers, finding women is a crime. If they are your brothers, finding women is not wrong, and others can't snatch your brother's women. Good, 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 worthy of being the king of double standards, Tang San. You are implementing the principle of double standards at every moment. Don't call yourself Sea God in the future, just call yourself the God of double standards. One set of rules for yourself, another set for others, look how good that is. Speaking of this, Song Yi only felt it was ridiculous. The female characters who were connected one by one, after watching, all showed expressions of disgust. It had to be said that Tang San was indeed disgusting. It seemed like he hadn't messed with women himself, but when supporting Ma Hongjun and messing with women, he didn't have any scruples at all. Chapter 84. Not daring to cause trouble is mediocre. Is your family's education this twisted? Du Guyan actually, to be honest, you can tell what kind of person someone is by looking at their friends. Du Guyan Tang San only has 3 friends of the same gender around him, and they are all letters. Even if this Tang San hasn't gone out looking for women, can he really be considered pure and unsullied? Du Guyan, as the saying goes, birds of a feather flock together. In reality, anyone can see that Tang San fell in love with Xiao Wu at first sight when she was just a child, which shows whether he is lecherous or not. It's just that he hid it better later on. Bing Bing is polite. Hey, you've got a point there. If Xiao Wu wasn't pretty, how could Tang San possibly like a 6-year-old girl? Bing Bing is polite, could Tang-san not be lecherous? At most, he just held it in. Hot girl, I don't actually think there's a problem with a man being lecherous, but lechers are disgusting. And someone who hangs out with lechers every day is even more disgusting. Needle-tailed swift double standards are also disgusting. This Ma Hong-jun, if he isn't his brother, he won't let others look for women. Needle-tailed swift, once Ma Hong-jun becomes his brother, he helps his brother snatch women. Tilde. Calm and composed Daimubai is the same. If it's not his brother, he isn't allowed to play with twins. Once it is his brother, he can mess around with anyone. Bibi Dong, hey, this is the disciple taught by Yu Xiaogang. Blue Silver Eternal, sure enough, this Tang-san couldn't possibly be my child. How could my child be so filthy, so hypocritical? Blue Silver Eternal child, don't worry. If I have a chance to return, I will definitely help you get revenge. I will help you kill this Tang-san and take back your body. Soft-boned body sigh, it's fortunate that Xiao Wu has already distanced herself from him at this point. Seeing this, the female character's favorability toward Tang-san dropped to a complete negative, with no chance of recovery. It was extremely disgusting, beyond words. Especially Juliana and N.A.N. Runshui, looking at the sharp commentary, they felt like vomiting themselves. They couldn't understand how they could have liked such a man. N.A.N. Runshui and Juliana shouted in their respective rooms at the same time that if they ever saw Tang-san in the future, even if it meant risking their lives, they had to kill this beast. On the light screen. The sharp commentary was far from over. This matter of snatching women has fully reflected Tang-san's double standards. Of course, this doesn't mean Tang-san isn't hypocritical about other things. There are plenty more to come. For example, actually, before this incident, Tang-san's double standards were also reflected before hunting spirit beasts. Going back to the time when Oscar made a breakthrough to level 30 and had to hunt for a spirit ring. Zhao Wuji took the Shrek 7 devils to the Stardow Great Forest and aided N.A.N. outside the forest. Here, they encountered students from Kanghui Academy. It was also in this segment that the classic, timeless quote of the Duluo continent was revealed. After arriving at the hotel, Daimubai treated everyone to a meal, and Ma Hongjun was in charge of ordering dishes to rip people off. They were all having a good time. However, just at this moment, a high-level Spirit Master Academy called Kanghui Academy, with a Black Tortoise Spirit Master leading a group of students, entered the restaurant to eat. As soon as they entered, this group of students received a warm welcome from the shop staff. Logically speaking, this is normal, right? They are Spirit Masters with money. Is there a problem with the restaurant staff actively and warmly welcoming them? They didn't look down on the staff or anything, they just sat down to eat normally. They didn't even know the Shrek 7 devils. Yet unexpectedly, just because there was a beautiful girl with a good figure among the Kanghui Academy students, Ma Hongjun started commenting and lecherously teasing her. And Daimubai also mocked them with disdain, saying things like what was a mere Kanghui Academy being arrogant about. No, buddy, did they provoke you? You too, one is lecherously teasing their female student, the other is insulting their academy. They didn't say anything, the staff was just a bit enthusiastic, and that turned into them being arrogant. What did they do to be called arrogant? You guys started the trouble, who could endure that? Everyone is a spirit master, you insult them, and it's normal for them to come find you, right? One person from Kanghui Academy prepared to bump into the person carrying dishes, making the food fall on Daimubai's head. After all, you spoke ill of their academy. Yet unexpectedly, because of this, the Shrek 7 devils became even more arrogant. Oscar explained to Tang-san that this is their academy's unique way of growing, causing trouble to train themselves. They even dragged out the twisted logic that, not daring to cause trouble is mediocre. Damn, they didn't provoke you, you caused trouble first. Isn't it expected for them to retaliate? Instead, you became even more arrogant, started provoking them, fighting, and finally forced their teacher out. Their teacher just wanted to scare you, as long as you apologized, it could be let go. Shouldn't you have apologized? Wasn't it you who started the trouble? You admitted yourselves that you were causing trouble. Good heavens, Tang-san and the others basically said, who do you think you are? Should we apologize just because we made a mistake? We made a mistake and insulted you, that's us doing you a favor. You still dare to be unhappy? You already have a path to death. In the end, Zhao Wuji stepped in and beat up the Black Tortoise teacher from the other side, and that was the end of it. Good, very excellent. What is called, not daring to cause trouble is mediocre. Wait for the day when others take the initiative to insult your Shrek Academy and comment on the women of Shrek Academy, should you be happy then? They are causing trouble, they didn't do anything wrong either. One can only say, can the students taught by such a school even be considered normal human beings? Perhaps Tang-san's double standards were also influenced by the atmosphere of Shrek. Up to this point, the audience watching the show was already speechless to the point of twitching eyes. They had seen shameless people, but never anyone this shameless. Damn, is this a mindset that a normal human can have? Proving yourself and training yourself by causing trouble. What did the other party do wrong to deserve being innocently provoked and bullied by you? Most loyal believer of the sea god, damn, this is the successor the future sea god will choose. Most loyal believer of the sea god FCKU, Tang-san. If you, this beast, dare to approach Sea God Island in the future, others don't need to act, I'll be the first to destroy you. Most loyal believer of the Sea God, as long as you haven't obtained the Sea God token and haven't started the God trial, you have nothing to do with the Sea God. I will definitely execute you first. Calm and composed, tone it down, don't say FCK his mom, Tang-san's mom is still in the comment section. Chapter 85, Forcing Others to Give Up Shrek. You are the most generous one, Gangzy. Blue Silver Eternal thanks, I am not close with this Tang-san. I have never admitted that I am his mother. Let this most loyal believer of the Sea God screw him, I would rather they help me kill this little beast. Most loyal believer of the sea god, damn it, if it were not for the fact that I cannot leave Sea God Island, I would definitely purge such a beast for the sea god. To prevent the sea god from being deceived. Most loyal believer of the sea god, at BB Dong, aren't you planning to kill N.A.N? As long as you can finish him off before he makes contact with the sea god's token, I can turn a blind eye to the past grievances between Spirit Hall and my Sea God Island. BB Dong, I need your reward to kill N.A.N. Even without Sea God Island, I can still annihilate N.A.N. Hot girl, I have heard of this Gangwei Academy too. Although their reputation is not great, here, we truly never provoked them, yet we were beaten up. Bing Bing is polite, it is fortunate that our Tianchui Academy never encountered Shrek. Otherwise, if we had, wouldn't we have been bullied by them too? Needle-tailed Swift, I said it long ago, everyone in the Tang clan is a beast. Yuehua, could it be that this N.A.N will truly ruin the reputation of the Tang clan completely? Sigh. 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School. Ning Rongrong and the others watched the sharp critiques on the light screen, along with the anger of each character. They recalled the events from back then, indeed, they had experienced this. Upon thinking that she was also a participant, Ning Rongrong felt disgusted. Damn it, I did not realize the problem back then, and I actually helped bully others. My personality is relatively flamboyant, but I would not bully people for no reason. It was always others provoking this young miss, and only then would I lose my temper. That is right, because before, we were influenced by the so-called Shrek and those stinky men. Zhu Jing sighed. It is fortunate that we have distanced ourselves from this group now. Otherwise, if we stayed, besides losing ourselves, we would become beasts that make us feel disgusted. Xiao Wu watched the light screen without saying a word, only shaking her head. Perhaps as the light screen said, N.A.N's double standards were certain. Is such a N.A.N still worth loving? As time passed, Xiao Wu now had more and more disappointment regarding N.A.N. Amidst everyone's discussion, the sharp critiques on the light screen continued. Furthermore, in this matter, there is a small detail worth noting. That is, when N.A.N and the others were about to deal with that mysterious turtle teacher, N.A.N formulated the tactics and directly excluded Ning Rongrong. Ning Rongrong's psychological reaction was feeling left out, ignored, and very uncomfortable in her heart, wanting to fusion into this team. That is right, this is the cold violence exclusion method. Using cold violence to exclude and bully you, subconsciously puaing you, making you only want to integrate into this small group. This method is applicable to all kinds of small groups. For example, dormitory cliques, class cliques, workplace cliques. They exclude you, target you, but do not directly deal with you, making you self-doubt and want to please them, wanting to fit in with them. Gradually, even if you were originally a high and mighty princess of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School, you would only take them as the center and lose yourself. This is also the reason why Ning Rongrong would like a scumbag like Oscar, because she was gradually brainwashed and bullied by the small group. Seeing this, every female character felt even more deeply empathetic. They were women themselves, so they understood the terror of this kind of small group Kua even better. 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School. After reading, Ning Rongrong suddenly realized everything and woke up with a start. Damn, so that is how it was. I was wondering why it felt wrong before. At the time, I was uncomfortable, as if I had been excluded. I thought there was really something wrong with my personality, it turns out they were puaing me. Damn Shrek, damn N.A.N, you all just wait for this young miss. This young miss will definitely take revenge on you. Seeing this, Zhu Jing and Xiao Wu both gasped in lingering fear. Zhu Jing said nervously, so that is it, I was wondering how I ended up accepting a scumbag like Dai Mubai in the late stage. Damn, I was actually brainwashed without realizing it. It was just this kind of Kua. Xiao Wu watched, becoming even more disappointed. She did not expect N.A.N to not only have double standards but also be so insidious, using such small tricks to Kua others. She was helpless and could only sigh, little San, you are too terrible. Finally, Xiao Wu shook her head and could only watch the light screen. She knew that these sharp critiques were just the beginning. N.A.N's points of criticism were probably as numerous as the hairs on an ox. The others were also watching while complaining. In the light screen. Alright, that is enough about this part. Subsequent events, like encountering the Titan giant ape, helping Ma Hongjun snatch the Kun, etc., have already been mentioned. Further on, it was the cultivative N.A.N and the others. Many minor things happened in between, but there is not much to talk about. Until, halfway through, the Imperial fighting team from Heaven Do Royal Academy came to the Great Spirit Arena in Soto City, and the Shrek 7 Devils fought them. Relying on N.A.N's hidden weapons techniques, the Shrek 7 Devils won the victory. And because of this, N.A.N provoked Du Gubo's granddaughter, Du Guyan. Speaking of which, it is speechless, isn't this Du Guyan's poison a bit ridiculously weak? N.A.N breaking Du Guyan's poison actually relied on things like real gar wine, which shows how low the combat power in this Duluo continent is. After the battle, look, the team leader of the Imperial fighting team was actually Qinming, a Shrek graduate. Qinming chose to invite Shrek to cooperate with the Heaven Do Royal Academy, letting Flender and the others become teachers, the Royal Academy providing resources and Shrek providing students. After some internal struggle, Flender agreed to head to Heaven Do City in 2 months. I have to say something here. When persuading Flender to give up the Shrek brand, the others did not say anything, but what were you Xiaoging, yelling about? Saying that for the student's sake, Flender should give up Shrek, give up the academy he had managed for so many years. Damn, this Shrek is not yours. Flender does not want to give it up, so what right do you have to speak? Flender is reluctant, and you, damn it, are still throwing a tantrum there, wanting to make a scene. You dog thing, did you really treat Flender like a dog? No one has the right to yell, and you have even less right. Without Flender, relying on you, this trash gangsy, see which academy would accept you as a teacher, where would there be resources for you to teach disciples? Oh, in the end, just because you wanted Tang-san to get better resources, you did not care about anything and directly threw a tantrum to make Flunder give up his hard work of many years. Why don't you just die? If you have the guts, take your own academy to cooperate. You are forcing your best brother to give up his hard work. Borrowing the words of another Gangzi, which is Guodagong, you stab someone with a knife and then ask them to be magnanimous. You Xiaogang, why don't you die? Chapter 86, letting you take a few immortal herbs. You took the entire herb garden. Tang-san's greed. Hot girl damn, how is this you Xiaogang so shameless? Acting like Shrek belongs to him. Bing Bing is polite exactly, only Flunder as the dean has the authority to decide whether to abandon Shrek. Although Shrek isn't a great school, it's not something you Xiaogang, should be interfering with. Du Guyan, am I the only one wondering if the Imperial fighting team could really be defeated by Shrek? No way, can using some real Garwine really break the poison? Du Guyan, what kind of nonsense is this? A perfectly good spirit ability, broken by some wine. This is just bullying. Hot girl, that's true, this Du Guyan's spirit ability is so trash. Bing Bing is polite but the light screen says the main victory relied on Tang-san's hidden weapons techniques. Sigh, it's so unfair. It's supposed to be a duel between spirit masters, yet he always uses these alien methods. Disgusting. Du Gu family. Du Guyan stayed in her room, watching the sharp commentary on the light screen. She couldn't even be bothered to care about whatever Yu Xiaogang was doing. The key point was, her perfectly good spirit ability could be broken by some real Garwine. Screw this. Seeing this, Du Guyan couldn't help but clench her fists and scold. Damn you, Tang-san, you are humiliating me. Why is it that in this vast Duluo continent, only he knows that real Garwine can detoxify? Has our intelligence all plummeted? However, Du Guyan thought again that with Song Yi's help, her spirit had evolved twice, directly reaching the level of the heavenly poison god dragon. She regained some confidence and muttered. Now, my spirit is the heavenly poison god dragon, no longer limited to a mere jade phosphor serpent. Tang-san, just you wait. If I really run into you, I don't believe the poison of my heavenly poison god dragon can be broken by your crappy real Garwine. As for those hidden weapons, as long as we are on guard in advance, let's see how you use them then. It's just that, now that I am Song Yi's woman, my relationship with the Imperial fighting team doesn't seem to matter much anymore. Do I still need to continue looking for you N.A.N and the others for team training? After pondering for a long time, Du Guyan decided to stay by Song Yi's side, as she would be able to gain more. She stopped complaining and continued watching the light screen. On the light screen. It can only be said that Yu Xiaogang thinks too highly of himself, really thinking that Shrek belongs to him. Thinking that Flunder is his dog. However, this guy Flunder is also weak and incompetent. He gave up Luerlong before and even officiated the wedding for Luerlong and Yu Xiaogang, a total simp. Here, he finally agreed to give up Shrek, simply handing Shrek over to others. So they headed to Heaven-Do City. On the way, they used the pretext of training to kill a group of spirit masters from the spirit fighting arena with hidden weapons. Of course, since they signed a life and death contract, it's hard to say anything about those people dying. Upon arriving in Heaven-Do City, the people from the Heaven-Do Imperial Academy gave Flunder and the others a lot of face, and even helped Tang-san open his meridians during the testing process. It's just a pity that Prince Shuixing brought Du Gubo to cause trouble, driving Shrek and the others away. At the same time, Du Guyan told Du Gubo to take revenge for her and deal with Tang-san, laying the groundwork for what follows. Next, Tang-san and the others came to Lanba Academy to join, but unexpectedly, Lanba Academy was founded by Luerlong. Luerlong directly renamed Lanba Academy to Shrek and let Flunder be the dean. Just like that, Yu Xiaogang said he wasn't willing, but after being persuaded a few times, he ended up getting together with Luerlong again. He even talked about being a spiritual couple to avoid incest. Unfortunately, 10,000 years later, their descendants still remain on the continent. Is this what you call spiritual couple? Good, very good, Yu Xiaogang. You said you were hesitant on the surface, you pretended to be righteous on the surface, but in the end, didn't you still engage in incest with Luerlong? Aren't you still just a man who can't control his lust? What are you pretending for? But the point is that after arriving at Lanba Academy, Tang-san was captured by Du Gubo. This part is crucial. After Tang-san was captured, Du Gubo originally wanted to teach him a lesson for his granddaughter. But he didn't expect Tang-san to use his pharmacological knowledge to point out Du Gubo's physical problems and even be able to detoxify Du Gubo. The two became friends after some back and forth. Although Du Gubo's strength wasn't great in the early stages, his character was good. Tang-san detoxified him, and he helped Tang-san in various ways out of loyalty. The herb garden where Du Gubo stayed is called the Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well, the birthplace of many immortal herbs. Tang-san detoxified Du Gubo in exchange for the benefits of the immortal herbs. Du Gubo also agreed, being polite, saying to him, "Oh, if you need the immortal herbs here, just take them." Who would have thought that Tang-san really wouldn't be polite? Later, he took the wishful 100 treasure purse gifted by Du Gubo and pulled out all the immortal herbs and spiritual plants. You did detoxify Du Gubo and even saved Du Guyan's life. It is only right that they give you immortal herbs. But you really took all the herbs from the entire Ice and Fire Yin-Yang Well. Note, it was all of them, not a single one left, directly bankrupting Du Gubo. This Tang-san of yours, isn't he a bit too greedy? Hey, here, some people might say, wasn't it Du Gubo who voluntarily gave the immortal herbs? Fine, since you brought it up. Then I ask you, why did the original text write later that Du Gubo found the herb garden empty and cursed in anger? They were just being polite to you. Even if you took half, it would be fine, but you exhausted everything. Doesn't his angry attitude show what he meant? Not to mention, the benefits Du Gubo gave were enough. The wishful 100 treasure purse, without this thing, how would you store and use the immortal herbs later, and do so many convenient things? Of course, some people will still say, oh, you say so much, isn't it just to smear our brother San tilde? Whether you admit it or not, whether Dugubo was being polite or sincere, he did say brother San could take the herbs, but is there a problem with brother San taking them all tilde? Fine, let's assume Dugubo misspoke and suffered the consequences, okay. Then why was the Ice and Fire Yin Yang well directly occupied by the Tang clan later? Why did the Ice and Fire Yin Yang well become Shrek's private property later? Dugubo never said he was giving you ownership of the entire Ice and Fire Yin Yang well, right? Just like that, if anyone still makes excuses for Tang San, it's truly disgusting. No matter what you say, you can take the herbs, I won't argue with you. I can only blame Dugubo for his own big mouth. But if you still want to whitewash this point, then you can only be a brainless fan of Tang San. Chapter 87, Soul Shock. Never heard of it, I am the Grand Master of Theory. Yu Xiaoging's confidence. Dugu family. In Dugu Yan's room. Seeing this, Dugu Yan was burning with rage. Damn it, Tang San, you beast, you just wait, young miss. It's one thing that the precious immortal herb is gone, but you even took the entire Ice and Fire Yin Yang well. Even if my grandfather let you take some herbs, he didn't tell you to occupy the whole place. You just wait for me, you just wait. So Tang San, right, I don't care who is backing you. Now, your mother doesn't recognize you. Your father was expelled by the Clear Sky sect. I don't believe my grandfather can't kill a little beast like you under Tang Hao's nose. The more Dugu Yan spoke, the angrier she became. Her fists were clenched tight, and she had no patience left. If not for the exposure by the light screen, how would she have known that her family's precious land would end up in Tang San's hands? At the end of the day, even if the Ice and Fire Yin Yang well ended up in someone else's hands later, I could only blame myself and my grandfather for not knowing how to utilize the immortal herb. But no matter whose hands it falls into, it must not fall into the hands of this beast Tang San. Dugu Yan continued angrily. Right now, Brother Yi is at the Ice and Fire Yin Yang well, and he hasn't even thought about taking over our entire herb garden. He pointed out that my grandfather didn't truly own this garden and just wanted to get some immortal herb. Now that he has obtained them, he has never mentioned directly seizing the garden. Brother Yi even used immortal herb and theoretical knowledge to help me and my grandfather evolve our spirits and completely eliminate the problem of toxins harming people. In any case, someone like Brother Yi is what you call a normal person. He took the immortal herb, but also gave us sufficient benefits, it's mutually beneficial. Poor grandfather, in the original timeline, the herb garden was gone, the precious storage spirit tool was gone, and he even had to work like a beast to protect Tang San. Tang San, I will tell my grandfather tomorrow. Even if it takes all my time, I must find you, and then skin you alive. After speaking, she looked at the light screen again. Sure enough, the comment section in the light screen was already filled with cursing. Bing Bing is polite, no, this Tang San knows greed, but I never thought he would be greedy to this extent. He robbed their entire herb garden. Hot girl, yeah, for a titled Duluo who studies poison, a thing like a herb garden must be very precious, it's his lifeline. And Tang San didn't leave a single strand of hair behind. Needle-tailed swift just like this, if there are still people speaking up for Tang San, I can't understand it anyway. You helped them detoxify, they gave you a few immortal herb, that should be fine, right? It didn't ask you to take everything. Most loyal believer of the sea god, I still say the same thing. If this kind of person becomes the successor of the sea god, I would rather hit myself to death with a piece of tofu. Most loyal believer of the sea god, if he becomes the sea god, I feel like he would even completely occupy Sea God Island. It would become their Shrek private property, and I fear we sea spirit masters wouldn't even have our original legacy benefits left. BB Donk at most loyal believer of the sea god, I think this is possible. BB Donk, don't you sea spirit masters have the chance to receive the sea god's blessing and increase your strength? If Tang San becomes the sea god, this kind of welfare for sea spirit masters will definitely be gone. BB Donk, believe it or not, when that time comes, Sea God Island will directly disappear, or it will be snatched away and moved to Shrek. As for you sea spirit masters, do you think Tang San would care? Most loyal believer of the sea god, damn it. We absolutely cannot let such a selfish, greedy, and double-standard person become the next sea god. Dugu Yan support the killing of Tang San. In the future, whoever meets Tang San, find an opportunity to wipe him out directly. Needle-tailed swift support the killing of Tang San. Blue Silver Eternal, after killing Tang San, can you leave my child's body behind? This is the last remnant of my child. For a time, the entire comment section was filled with righteous indignation, everyone wishing they could hack Tang San into pieces on the spot. It was just too disgusting, he simply wasn't human. Unfortunately, do you think this was enough? The sharp critiques in the light screen were only increasing. In the light screen, Tang San, who obtained various immortal herb from the herb garden, led his team into a new stage. After that, it was participating in competitions, which is also the plot that the young master of the Tang clan likes best, constantly participating in competitions. Note a point here, after Tang San ate the watch through autumn dew, he could already see Xiao Wu's identity as a spirit beast, yet he still chose to take Xiao Wu to the competition. This has been sharply critiqued before, I won't say more. Afterward, Tang San and the others firmly established themselves in the new Shrek, cultivating to become stronger. During this period, there were many plot points, such as meeting Tai Long, who liked Xiao Wu. After beating Tai Long's father came. After beating the father, the grandfather came. In the end, when Tai Long's grandfather saw that Tang San had the Clear Sky Hammer, he thought, hey, isn't this someone from the Clear Sky sect? And he's the son of my master, Tang Hao. So Tai Long's grandfather, Tai Tan, became a lick spittle for Tang San. As for the four sects part, there will be a detailed critique later. Next, the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile School wanted to curry favor with Tang San because of the hidden weapons and purchase hidden weapons for self-protection. Later on, the Shrek 7 devils prepared to hunt spirit beasts together to obtain spirit rings. Here, Tang-san used the fragrant silk immortal herb to directly attract a large number of spirit beasts and slaughtered them madly. Good, good, good. At this time, you ignore that Xiao Wu was a spirit beast. You ignore Xiao Wu's wish for him to kill fewer spirit beasts. Xiao Wu didn't say anything either. Normally, she kept saying, if not forced, don't kill so many spirit beasts. Now, she didn't say a peep. And in this hunting process, doesn't it reflect the function of the immortal herb? The function of the immortal herb also indirectly reflects the function of the wishful 100 treasure purse. Without the good things given by Du Gubo, could you carry the immortal herb to do these things? Tang-san himself said that if it weren't for the wishful 100 treasure purse, the fragrant silk immortal herb would be damaged even if it touched ordinary soil. You took so many benefits from Du Gubo, and you just detoxified him. You are truly generous. And for the sake of the subsequent competition, Tang-san took the initiative to absorb a 10,000-year devil spider as a spirit ring this time. Hey, at this time, Yu Xiaobing and others tried to persuade him, but Tang-san said he wouldn't listen. At the critical moment, because Xiao Wu was a spirit beast, she took the initiative to inform him that 10,000-year spirit beasts have soul shock when absorbing spirit rings, and if your mental force isn't strong enough, you can't absorb it. Tang-san is fine, Tang-san has cheats, the purple demon eye plus a watch through autumn dew. Xiao Wu is brain dead here again, saying something like if something happens to Tang-san, she will commit suicide for love. Not, beauty, you want to commit suicide for love, you mother f***cker, if you commit suicide for love now, then who will avenge your mother? Didn't you come to the human world to take revenge? Oh, you found a man and forgot your mother. You really are filial, huh? So, this shows just how much the girls are pooed by the Shrek team, to the point that they can even forget such life and death hatred. Tell me, is Shrek scary or not? And that Yu Xiaobing is even more useless. As soon as Xiao Wu mentioned soul shock, Yu Xiaobing said he had never heard of it. Hey, I am the Grand Master of Theory, I just don't know about soul shock. But it doesn't matter, I am still the Grand Master of Theory. Chapter 88, Defense shattered by Shui Binger. No useless spirits, then why is my blue silver grass so useless? ... Soft bone body. What, is Xiao Wu really going to be with this man, and even commit suicide for love? Love eating carrots. Mom, I'm sorry, I forgot to take revenge, I was too selfish. Soft bone body. No, Xiao Wu, how could mom wish for you to take revenge? Mom only hopes you can survive and live a good life. Soft bone body. What mom fears is that you've truly fallen for this person named Tang-san. He will ruin your life. Love eating carrots. I'm sorry, mom, don't worry, I won't have contact with him in the future. BB Dong. Hey, what a deep mother-daughter bond. You little beast, just you wait. One day I will find you, kill you, and obtain your spirit ring. Most loyal believer of the sea god. Alright BB Dong, what's the use of saying that here? This is just a platform for communication. Hot girl. Although I'm an outsider, I have to complain, this Xiao Wu was really a bit stupid. Committing suicide for love, committing suicide for someone like this. Bing Bing is polite, that's not quite right. Isn't Yu Xiaobing also problematic? He calls himself a theoretical grandmaster, yet he doesn't even know that absorbing a 10,000-year spirit ring causes soul tremors. Is this what you call a grandmaster? The only princess. Don't say that, I didn't know either. Du Guyan, it's normal that you don't know, because you're probably young and haven't reached the level of absorbing a 10,000-year spirit ring yet. But Yu Xiaobing calls himself a theoretical grandmaster and has studied theory for many years, it's a problem that he doesn't know. Du Guyan, I knew about it. I heard my grandfather mention it before. It stands to reason that anyone who has normally reached the 5-ring stage or above, and has experienced it, would know about this. BB Dong, that's correct. Normally, upon reaching the 5-ring stage, the body and spirit development have already reached the standard line. A spirit king's spirit power is sufficient to withstand the soul tremors. BB Dong, so most spirit kings won't discuss this matter because it's a matter of course. Only those who absorb a 10,000-year spirit ring prematurely would need to find a way to solve the problem. BB Dong, it's truly ridiculous. A so-called theoretical grandmaster ends up not even as good as an ordinary spirit king. Calm and composed Yu Xiaobing, you deceive us too deeply. Needle-tailed Swift, so that's how it is. It seems this Yu Xiaobing is still a bit useful. At the very least, he should be able to create some obstacles for this little beast Tang-san, right? Meow meow meow, it's a pity that Yu Xiaobing is still quite good to Tang-san, it shouldn't damage Tang-san's interests. Speaking of this, the female characters all secretly sighed in regret. If only Yu Xiaobing had fully utilized his characteristics, then completely led Tang-san astray and wasted Tang-san's talent, that would have been great. Don't mention it, it just so happens that the light screen is about to harshly criticize this. Everyone discussed while watching the light screen, and the content continued to generate. On the light screen. A perfectly good theoretical grandmaster, yet when asked, he knows nothing. Back when dealing with the Imperial fighting team, if it weren't for Ning Rongrong's reminder, Yu Xiaobing wouldn't even have heard of the 9-heart begonia. Such an awesome healing spirit, and you, the theoretical grandmaster, haven't heard of it. Now, regarding the absorption of 10,000-year spirit rings and soul tremors, he doesn't know either, and it was Xiao Wu who had to inform him. Back when eating the immortal herb, he said he wouldn't rely on these external forces. After eating the immortal herb, oh no, the 9-grade purple mushroom, a spiritual plant, and breaking through to level 30, he happily accepted the external force again. Aren't you a theoretical grandmaster? Besides taking other people's things, what else are you good for? I wonder if, in a few years, these theories, using medicinal herbs to improve the body, soul tremors, the introduction of the 9-heart begonia, will be claimed by you as your own research again. This really fits your style, grandmaster, of plagiarizing and misappropriating things, then promoting them as your own research. And as for Tang-san, absorbing this 10,000-year spirit bone was naturally without difficulty, and he became the first child to absorb a 10,000-year spirit ring beyond his level. After that, there's nothing interesting. Participating in the Continental Advanced Spirit Master Elite Tournament, it was just match after match. Among them, facing the Blazing Academy, Tang-San relied on having absorbed the immortal herb, so he had flame immunity N.A.N. Facing the Wind Spirit Academy, facing the true commoner genius Feng Xiaodian, he relied on the Clear Sky Sex Chaotic Cloak Hammer technique to win against Feng Xiaodian. Sigh, poor Feng Xiaodian, this kid really has some ability. A mutated spirit, innate full spirit power, from the commoner class, and apart from being a sim for Huowu, I haven't seen him messing around with relationships. Even from the way the Wind Spirit Academy respects him, Feng Xiaodian treats his brothers and friends well, otherwise, others definitely wouldn't be convinced by him. He even has enough talent and comprehension ability, creating his own spirit ability, the Storm Devil Wolf 36 consecutive slashes. With such talent, character, comprehension ability, and infatuation, besides not having a cheat, I don't see how he is worse than Tang-San. Such a person is at least much better than the likes of Dai Mubai and Ma Hongjun, right? Even if placed in Spirit Hall, he would be at the level of the Golden Generation. No, even Juliana didn't have innate full spirit power, but this Feng Xiaodian has enough talent. If he had the resources of Spirit Hall to cultivate him, he would surpass that so-called Golden Generation in minutes. It's just a pity that in the face of the cheating Tang-San, he was still just a background character. And facing the Kanghui Academy, Tang-San again relied on his purple demon eye to win, and even turned everyone in the Kanghui Academy into idiots. Tang-San's heart is not without cruelty. Anyway, as long as it damages his interests, they have a way to die. Then facing the Tianshui Academy, this time even though Tang-San had eaten the immortal herb and had ice attribute resistance, he finally couldn't win easily. Shui Binger and her sisters were still powerful. With their top-tier Ice Phoenix Spirit and the Martial Soul Fusion skill, they directly broke Tang-San's defense, ultimately resulting in a draw. This was also the first time someone curbed Shrek's victory. It can only be said that a top-tier spirit is, after all, a top-tier spirit. Tang-San's failure in this match plunged him into unimaginable inferiority and guilt. Well done, Tang-San, your Dao heart has finally collapsed, hasn't it? You finally realized the limitations of the blue-silver grass, right? Only until this moment did Tang-San perhaps understand that the phrase, "there's no useless spirit, only useless spirit masters," is just nonsense. Yu Xiaobing repeatedly reinforced his own teaching role, repeatedly telling Tang-San that as long as he had his guidance, Tang-San's blue-silver grass could become stronger. And then, fighting Blazing Academy, relied on Immortal Herb, fighting Wind Spirit Academy, relied on the Hammer, fighting Kanghui Academy, relied on Eye Techniques, fighting Tianshui Academy, had his defense broken. Look closely, in this series of matches, which match was